when I hear fumble, I hear fumble, fumble-rooski, fumble-aya. I forget which football movie that was from. That was from maybe it was one of these dumb. It was a dumb football movie. It wasn't a canon football movie. It was a dumb one. I'm going to check that one out. I will be back with that. But yeah, that's what I hear. Fumble-rooski, fumble-aya. Yeah, fumbles, not good.
Not good, no. Hold on to the ball, Donnie.
I've always wanted to know, because I've never been in this situation, but I've always wanted to know, and anytime if I talk to running backs, I just want to know what that singular moment is when the ball leaves your hand, like the amount of panic that is in your heart when you just feel because you can see them running and the ball slips, and then they immediately
arms stretched out a little bit, like,
and you see them just looking for the ball, and then the ball's bouncing everywhere because it's an oblong shape and it doesn't bounce in the proper way, and it's everywhere. And then all of us, when you're watching the game at home, if you've played any ball at all, when the ball comes out, what do you yell? Ball! Right? You just yell it real, ball! Even though you're not on the field, it's just something that happens. And so, yes, it's one of the most exciting / frightening plays, depending on what side of the equation you're on.
I feel like losing a fumble as a running back is what, because I've never done that in a game, but I feel like it is akin to realizing you just left the stove on when you left the house. And you're like, wait a minute. My gas stove is on.
What a feeling. You're right.
Oh, this place is set to blow. Oh, no. Or when you wake up in the morning and you realize you overslept, you're like, oh, no.
That might be closer to it, because it's this singular, because you go from a state of regularity to panic immediately.
Like that.
You wake up, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be waking up. Oh! And then it's like, oh, I got to be awake. I got what? And then it just panic until you actually get to the place on time. And I imagine running backs panic until they recover the ball, and then they can actually breathe again.
Oh, see, I have dreams about oversleeping, and they feel so real. It's like Monday, I'm taking a nap, and I'm dreaming that I wake up and look at my phone, because I had a softball game at 6:30. I dreamt that I looked at my phone and it said 10:30, and I was like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
And then I end up waking up and I'm like, oh, it's like only 3:45, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that same level of panic every single time.
Yeah.
And that is how I imagine a running back is feeling when that ball gets on the turf. Because I'm sure when you lose a fumble, because it is drilled. I mean, out of all the football practices I've ever been to, and the football practices I've been allowed to see, either at the college level or the pro level or even the high school level, it is absolutely drilled into you. Like, we don't get to see a lot of practice, but on Friday, for the first practice, one thing that we did get to see, running backs holding on to the ball, and they got two guys on each side just punching that thing out. Coach Beamer hopped in line trying to punch that ball out. So when it happens in a game, you get a tongue lashing from hell.
Yeah, it's a tough scene. And again, there's guys that struggle with ball security. There's guys that are better with it. But every running back does run into that situation. Some are more loose with the ball than others. But yeah, ball security is a very interesting thing, and it is something that you can train to stop, and it's something that you can train to create. And so it is a huge part of the game.
And it is what can absolutely swing a game, too. Like we mentioned yesterday, like so many of these different concepts during the season or during this week that we're going to talk about that's plastered on the wall of the indoor practice facility, they do play hand in hand with each other. Like there is a totality to all of this, and these are all individual elements that can make or break a football game. And when it comes to what you talked about yesterday with the fourth quarter, and when the players talked yesterday about it being a war of attrition and having to be in the best shape possible for the fourth quarter, and you mentioned that the offense will make a mistake at some point. How you take advantage of those mistakes, or if you can force them to make one, vitally important, especially if you get into the fourth quarter and it's a one-score game. A turnover can end up being what absolutely kills you. And if you study any football game at any level, sometimes you can just go to turnover margin and you can point to that and be like, oh, that's how you outgained your opponent by 50 yards and lost. Oh, that's how, you were able to run the ball 5.5 yards per carry and still lost. Oh, that's how your quarterback was able to throw for 3 touchdowns but still lost because you threw 3 interceptions when full of Jameis Winston, right? Like, that's how you can have a quarterback like Jameis Winston throw for 5,000 yards in a season and 30 touchdowns, but his 30 interceptions cost you the year. It is amazing how just like the mistakes in a football game that you make or that you force ultimately change how you might view your entire season.
Yeah, and like you made the idea that sometimes it's forced, sometimes it's unforced, sometimes it comes during crucial parts of the game. Is there such thing as a non-crucial part of the game? Because if you think about it, what we said yesterday, we started focusing on, well, how you start the game is important, right? You can't lose the game in the first quarter. Okay, but now we got to play the middle 8. But then we also have to play the fourth quarter. So there's no part of a football game that is just like slack or a little bit less. It's a 4-quarter thing where you have to hold up, and that fumble in the first quarter may be something that impacts the game for the rest of the game. You want to talk about individually, all you have to do is look at the Citrus Bowl. How important was that fumble for Jawan Howells, just individually, not talking about the career, not talking about – we could be having a whole different conversation this spring if he doesn't fumble the ball and subsequently we assume that his playing time was reduced. That's the assumption that I'm making.
I think that's a fair one. When somebody's having a good game and then they put the ball on the turf, I think that immediate thought, and if they put the ball on the turf and don't return to the game, you either got hurt on that play or he fumbled the ball and a point is being made on the sideline. But in terms of like the perfect example of kind of marrying 2 different concepts, like when I was going back to research the middle 8, and I went back and looked at that Alabama game because I was like, how the hell was South Carolina plus 19? Because I went through the entire play-by-play chart and the drive chart, and I'm like, I had to have miscalculated this. No one wins the middle 8 by 19 points. But you know what happened? A fumble, an interception. Alabama committed 2 turnovers in that football game. Both of them occurred in the middle 8. And that was a 19-point swing.
And they both led to points.
They both led to points.
Major points, not... Well, 19 points, yeah. So it all led to points. Yeah, it can change the tenor of a game very, very quickly. It can change a game, and sometimes when you're looking at the box score, if you don't look at, you can look at all the other statistics as you mentioned, and it might seem like an even game, and then you go to turnovers and you say, oh, 3-0. That's what happened.
There you go.
And there's a analytical element where you're thinking about, if you turn the ball over, then you have probably less field to gain. You probably have a better average starting position. But then there's also a human element where you just get down on yourselves or you blow an opportunity or you mess up and you never quite fully recover. So there is an analytical element to turnovers, but there's also the human element of how it affects the team and the team's psyche.
Like, here's a good example, okay? First, this is one of the most traumatic days of a young Elijah Campbell's life. It's the first day of 7th grade. Teacher's calling roll. And so at this point, I am, 12 years old? We get down to the C's. Not very far into the roll call, mind you. On the first day of school in a town that's got 1,900 people, I'm like name number 2, buddy. Campbell, Elijah. And I go, here. And my voice cracked so bad. Everyone in that room laughed. Everybody.
As a turnover.
Everybody. The teacher was laughing. It paused roll call by at least 30 seconds so everybody could calm down. And I was never more embarrassed in my life. I turned the ball over on the opening snap.
Tough spot.
My voice cracked just recalling this. I turned it over on the first snap, and it was like the Broncos in the Super Bowl when they played the Seahawks, and they get a safety on play number 1. It was over for me.
Yeah.
7th grade was terrible.
Caught you by surprise.
Yeah, caught me by surprise.
You're supposed to be drilling that all summer. Here.
Elijah Campbell, here. Nope, and that sucker came out, here. Everybody laughed. All the girls in the class laughed. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror for days. 7th grade was a terrible year, a horrific year. And it started because I turned the ball over on the first play. Early on in the ball game. And that set a tone, buddy. I lost that game by 4 touchdowns. If that year was a football game, I got blown out. Right? I am John Elway against Joe Montana in the Super Bowl. That thing was not close, and it was never meant to be close. But that is exactly how like football can be the same way. You go into a game incredibly amped up and you mess up on the first play. It is human nature to kind of fold after that. turnovers have a very similar effect in football to where your very avoidable action, especially maybe at a position like quarterback, where so much of it is mental, whether it be preparation or bouncing back from certain plays, not being too high, too low. Quarterbacks talk about that all the time. But when they do make a mistake, especially if it's one that you know you shouldn't have done, something you have, like saying here in roll call, you drill all summer, and you're immediately kind of shell-shocked. So it's one of those things, too, that it's an absolute momentum swing, and it can be in the most negative way possible if you are on the wrong end of that.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. So this is something that I'm interested in, because I'm interested in what it looks like when you turn the ball over and what it looks like when you create turnovers.
Then that's the thing too. You can be a good defense, but you're not maybe a great defense because maybe you just don't force a lot of turnovers. I think the perfect example, at least in my football watching life, like the 2009 Saints defense was not dominant at all. There were games that year they hemorrhaged yards, hemorrhaged them. But the reason they didn't break is they forced a ton of turnovers. And Greg Williams, he was the defensive coordinator. I think that was a staple of his teams. They will give up some yards, but they took a lot of risks, and they would force a lot of turnovers. And if you had a quarterback like Drew Brees who was not going to turn the ball over, and you had some players who were not going to put the ball on the turf, magic can happen if you're able to take those gambles and turn them into turnovers. That team was like, I want to believe they forced the most turnovers in the NFL that year. They had the most pick sixes in the NFL that year, capped off by Tracy Porter pick sixing Peyton Manning on a drive that was supposed to tie the game for the Colts and putting up 2 scores with, 3 minutes left, sealed the deal. Tracy Porter took a gamble on a bad Brett Favre throw when they were driving down the field late in the game. Picked off that pass, they went to overtime, they go to the Super Bowl. That team had no business defensively being a Super Bowl winning defense, but they forced a lot of turnovers, and it made what was a pedestrian defense a great one that was good enough to win you the ultimate goal of the sport.
Those Greg Williams defenses weren't known for anything else, were they?
Nope. I don't think they were. Certainly nothing to do with monetary incentive to hurt an opposing quarterback. I don't think that was a thing.
That was okay. All right.
No.
I was just.
Nobody got suspended for that. That wasn't a really big deal.
Gotcha.
No, I think that was,
Another Greg Williams.
Yeah, might be, yeah. Greg with only 2 G's in the name, not 3.
Greg.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're thinking of another Greg Williams. I don't know. I'll plead the fifth. I guess we'll have somebody on the staff here look it up. I'll get an intern on it. But that's the importance of turnovers. We're going to dive into that for the entire first hour. That's kind of our essential question today, is what teams are the best at winning the turnover battle? And is simply focusing on ball security a more sustainable strategy to winning it than maybe having an aggressive defense that tries to force a lot of turnovers? And can this Gamecock defense specifically be as opportunistic as they were last year? Because they were really good at making teams turn the ball over last season. We'll tackle that last question here next on the early game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
The Game Summer Golf Classic is Friday, August 22nd at Charwood Golf Club. Tee time is 9 a.m. Registration starts at 7:30. Mimosa bar provided by Saki's Wine and Spirits. Onion sausage for breakfast and Firehouse subs for lunch. And oh yeah, we have prizes. And the golf gun is back again. $400 a team. Call 803-755-2000 and press number 2 to sign up. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Playing golf is fun, but playing it for a cause is even better. And you can join my friends over at Pro Swing for a cause. Course and Sim Challenge, a 2-day charity golf event supporting Prisma Health Children's Hospital in Columbia. That should be a good enough draw on its own, but more details here. It's open to all skill levels, so you can be like, Elijah, I'm not a really good golfer. You know what? Neither am I, but I can still support the Children's Hospital here in Columbia. because it can be open to all skill levels. Pro Swing, August 16th and 17th, followed by a traditional 18-hole, two-person Captain's Choice tournament at Cobblestone Golf Club on August 21st. And then after the round at Cobblestone, they'll announce the combined results and crown the overall champions of the course and sim challenge. So you're combining indoors and outdoors. Again, August 16th and 17th, indoor golf simulator. Thursday, August 21st, 2025, with a 3 o'clock after party. More details on ProSwingColumbia.com.
For sale and get 40% off paints and stains August 8th through the 14th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purple spread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Let AAA Heating and Air shine a spotlight on your home comfort. Their experienced HVAC and electrical technicians are here to help. Right now, take advantage of up to 12-month payment plans on HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. That's right, just a valid bank account is all you need. So call AAA Heating and Air today. Homeowners only. Call now to schedule your appointment. 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text GUYS44 to 323232. GUYS44 to 323232. 1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Calling all Gamecock fans, it's the return of the Garnet and Black Bash at Still Hands Brewing. Put on your Garnet and Black and head out to Still Hands Brewing Saturday, August 16th for this free event featuring Gamecock Central. The festivities start at 5 p.m. and include a food menu inspired by all your tailgate favorites with live music from Ryan Trotty beginning at 6. So come out for the Garnet and Black Bash at Still Hands Brewing Saturday, August 16th from 5 to 10, and we'll see you there.
And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
North Main Street at Wilson Boulevard, we do have a report of an accident there. And weather-wise, boy, we're going to be lucky to hit 80 today. How crazy is that? 79, likely our high. Again, just a couple chances for a shower or two today. Same tomorrow, maybe just a few showers here or there. That continues actually into Saturday as well. Tomorrow looking at 82, 85 for Saturday, 83 on Sunday with some scattered showers. So not washouts, just occasional rain. Right now, though, we're starting the morning off at 70 on 107.5 The Game.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
We're talking turnovers this morning here on the early game. My man Joe is on the line. wanting to talk about some of the player interviews yesterday. The defensive players did speak, and we're going to hear from them here really soon. Joe, good morning. Good to hear from you.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Man, I've been working this 12-hour shift, so that's why you guys haven't heard from me. A little tired these days. But listen, so as I look at the interviews, good morning, guys. Good morning.
What's up, brother?
So as I look at the interviews, man, these guys are ripped like I've never seen USC football players ripped ever before, man. So whoever is conditioning these fellas, and they're talking about the fourth quarter, owning the fourth quarter, and ripping the ball and owning the ball when the defense is on, when the defense is on the field, how the ball is theirs, they need to get it back for the offense. I truly believe that Shane Beamer has built a certain character about these guys, man, where they trust each other, they believe in each other, and it's going to show on the field this year. I truly believe that we're going to see a different USC football team this year. I truly believe, and that's in the most positive way that I could say it, man. But I'm really, really, really looking forward to what the product that's going to be on the field this year. You have stars like Stewart, you have stars, Lenoris, and everybody is like I want my name called as well. So Lenoris is not going to outshine me. Stewart is not going to outshine me. It's going to be a togetherness thing, and we're all going to show up and be as one. One beat, one band, one sound. I truly believe that's what's going to happen this year, guys. We're going to have a special season from the USC Gamecocks because these guys look like they are ready and they are prepared. So they've been talking about it, and I think the walk is going to show some kickoff. When how you said, Isaiah, when foot hits the leather, it's going to go down, man. And I look forward to it this year. I really do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're 100% correct, Joe. The only thing incorrect in that sentence was my name, but everything else is exactly correct. Everything else spot on. But that's what you need in today's college football is it's good to have a continuity of players. I think that absolutely helps. I think maybe as based off of reaction to my assessment of Clemson yesterday, I think a lot of people are underrating returning production and how when one team gets better at the end of the year, it does carry over for seemingly most of the time it does carry over into the next year. But having returning production is important. It's more important to have a returning message, and that no matter who the players are in the room, the mindset stays. The message stays the same. The culture, to use the buzzword, remains the same. And I think with all the turnover you've had on defense from last year to this year, with all the guys you lost, if you closed your eyes and walked into those press conferences and you didn't have any voice recognition and any face to a name or voice to a name, you wouldn't be able to tell that there were a lot of missing starters from last year's team here for this year's team. And that's important.
You were there yesterday. You talked to a lot of those fellas, and you would agree with what Joe said.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the praise that Luke Day's been getting is pretty high. It's very interesting because if you was to go on the message boards 2 years ago, people were clamoring for, hey, what's going on with the strength and conditioning program? It's not necessarily where we thought it was going to be. Our players don't look like SEC players. Hey, what do these guys look like when we compare, our sideline to their sideline? So there's obviously been a change, and there's obviously been an improvement. And that can happen. That can happen. Coaches can grow into their positions and find their grooves and find things that work, maybe tweak some of the things that they were starting. And that's been a theme that you've heard this offseason is that the players at least looked the part. Will they play the part? We don't know, but they at least looked the part. I think that's the first step, is looking the part. But talking to him yesterday, I asked every single player that was available, with the exception of David Busey. It started a little early. Asked them all about turnovers. What makes you a group that is really good at forcing turnovers? We have some of the best ones yesterday. We'll start with cut number one. Jalen Kilgore, when asked about how this team can continue their trend of being one of the best in the SEC at forcing turnovers.
I feel like we got a lot of good guys that's willing to go towards the ball. We got a good D-line that's going to fight towards the ball, big, strong guys. We got lockdown DBs, backup DBs that's locked down. So we're just putting guys in. If we happen to have somebody that go out and that a backup has to come in, it's not going to be no let up. So we just plan on getting to the ball every trip.
And then Brandon Cisse, incoming cornerback from NC State, was also asked about being opportunistic on defense and that being a reason for forcing turnovers. This is cut 7.
I would say, there's a lot of talent back there. Everybody wants to play, and everybody has an elite mindset. Everybody's mind is always on the ball. We do turnover circuit a lot, so, it's just about getting the ball back. Those kind of plays change games, change momentum, so that's something we look forward to every time we go out there.
And then I asked Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy about how they can be opportunistic on defense and force turnovers.
Striking at the ball, the ball is ours, so we're trying to get it back at all points. So, that comes with, seeing the running back arm, striking at it, trying to get the ball constantly, trying to do jump balls. The ball is ours, so we got to have that mindset that we're trying to get it back.
And then lastly here, Peyton Williams, when I asked him about being an opportunistic defense that forces turnovers, 17.
Coach White always says it, turnovers come in bunches. So just being in the right spot, being in the right fit, that comes. The turnovers are going to come. So just making sure you're doing your job, it's going to come to you.
So a lot of messaging there with getting to the ball, forcing it out. And then I thought like what Peyton Williams said in that last clip right there, Clayton White says it comes in bunches, which is really important that if you go through the course of a game and you try for turnovers, you're trying to punch the ball out, you're trying to maybe jump a route or do the things that's required to get turnovers, sometimes they will just happen. And back to your point yesterday, the offense at some point will make a mistake, and you got to be opportunistic enough to take advantage of it.
Are you going to take advantage of when they make the mistake? When they do fumble the ball, which they will, do you recover it? When he does throw a bad pass, which he will, do you tip it or do you pick it? Right?
Yes.
Because there's a big difference. That changes the dynamics of a game, because we've all seen games where it's an out route, the cornerback breaks on it, tips it, knocks it down, doesn't catch it, runs down the sideline with his hands on his head, and everybody in the stands like, oh, and then the next play, touchdown, right? Or something along those lines.
It's almost
happens.
every time.
It seems like
if you drop a pick, it's almost destined that you're giving up a bomb or a score on the next play.
So being opportunistic is when they give you a chance, because they will, do you take advantage of it? And that's what you work on. They work on it in practice. Some teams will have like turnover Tuesdays.
Oh, I like that.
Right, turnover Tuesdays, where all you're strictly focusing on is which side of the ball wins the turnover battle. Does the offense not give it away? Does the defense take it away? With an extra emphasis on that, they do circuits. All types of stuff to focus on this idea. But the main thing they said is you're doing your job first. You're doing your job first, and then the turnovers will come. It's not that you create turnovers and then you do your job. And that's the big difference in good defenses, that they do their job first, and then turnovers happen.
Yes, that's what made last year's team so exciting to watch. And the forcing of those turnovers last year was a ton of fun and exciting. But the boring part of this, but equally important, taking care of the football. How do we project this Gamecock offense in terms of avoiding those back-breaking turnovers? And with all the turnovers they have forced defensively since Shane Beamer's been here since 2021, does it actually result in a good turnover margin? I don't think you're going to like what you're going to hear in that regard. We'll tell you what that is next here on the Early Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. The Game Network keeps growing. Details soon from The Game.
Back to school. That means dropping the kids off, picking them up. Schedule's going to get a little more hectic. You might not have the time to clean your home the way that you did over the summer, if you did at all. But fear not, Zero Res is here for you because they understand that every dollar counts these days. So they're going to allow you, once again, because they're really good at doing this, helping you save big time with a back-to-school BOGO special. Now, you hear BOGO, you're like, buy one, get one? Aha, not quite, because at Zero Res, it's get 2 rooms free. Yes, I'll say it again. When you get 2 rooms of carpet cleaned, and you mention my name, Elijah Campbell, 107.5 The Game, you'll get 2 rooms free. It's an amazing offer. Ask about Zero Res Commercial Cleaning Services. Hit them up, 803-262-4020, or easily schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Wendy's. Score a Wendy's sausage, egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese, or honey buddy biscuit for just $1. Pick just one or pick all three. For just $1 each, you literally can't go wrong. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
Hendrick. Love Chevrolet and Love GMC are now Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC, part of Hendrick Automotive Group. Buy now and make no payments for 4 months at the all-new Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC in Columbia. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Bill Gunner for Charwood Golf Club. I tell you what, it's hot out there right now, but at Charwood, they are taking care of their clients. On 90-plus degree days, they have fans on the range, ice towels at the turn, and when you are done. So call today and book a tee time. The heat's no problem. Go visit one of the great courses right here in the Midlands. You can call them 803-755-2000, or you can book online, charwood.com. Get out to Charwood today and enjoy a great round of golf at one of the Midlands' hidden gems.
Let AAA Heating and Air shine a spotlight on your home comfort. Their experienced HVAC and electrical technicians are here to help. Right now, take advantage of up to 12-month payment plans on HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. That's right, just a valid bank account is all you need. So call AAA Heating and Air today. Homeowners only. Call now to schedule your appointment. 803-677-1500. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Heroes and Villains, the art of the Disney costume, created by the Walt Disney Archives, is now open at the South Carolina State Museum. The exhibition features 70 costumes, including some worn by Betty Davis, Glenn Close, Angelina Jolie, and more. See iconic pieces from some of your favorite Disney films, such as 2015's Cinderella, 2017's Beauty and the Beast, and many more. Get tickets at scmuseum.org.
Hey, this is Terry Ford from 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. Let's take a minute to talk about your business. Things a little slow, then it's time for you to be heard on 107.5 The Game and the Game Network. Our powerful on-air and digital advertising options can help you reach more people, boost awareness, and remind your customers why they chose you in the first place. When listeners hear your name on the radio, it builds trust and keeps you top of mind when they're ready to buy. Radio works, digital works, let us prove it. Email us now at growmybusiness@cumulus.com. That's growmybusiness@cumulus.com, and let's grow your business together.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text GUYS44 to 323232. GUYS44 to 323232. 1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
North Main Street at Wilson Boulevard, an accident reported. Also, they're working on Highway 21 near I-77. And Veterans Road near Alice Road, it appears there's a disabled vehicle. Might just be slowing things down a little bit, but just kind of keep your eyes forward and you'll get through without too much issue. A couple showers could pop up today. Certainly not anticipating a washout. 79 for the high, 82 tomorrow, 85 on Saturday. Really going into the weekend, we'll just see a couple scattered showers here or there. Right now, 70 on the early game.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game
app. Forcing turnovers, mightily important for a defense. And that Those are the exciting plays, right? That's when we're at Willie B and Jalen Kilgore's picking off Brady Cook to seal the deal. That's when it gets really exciting. Or when you recover a fumble whenever the offense was driving down the field. Everybody in the stadium yells. It's exciting. You feel the momentum change in the building. But for an offense, equally important to not turn the ball over. Now, I remember at SEC Media Days, I was going through my Media Days notes because I was like, I think Shane mentioned this. He, in his opening statement, mentioned how since he joined the SEC as a head coach in 2021, his teams have forced the most takeaways. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's good. That's a great stat. That's good. Especially considering for in 2023, you went several weeks without, and then it came in a flurry in the last couple of games.
And there was no coincidence. Those weeks they went without, defense was not good.
Defense wasn't good. They were losing games.
The weeks that they got the turnovers, things started changing towards the end of the season. Might be a correlation.
I think there is a correlation. I don't merely find this to be a coincidence. So I went back and looked from 2021 what the turnover margin was for teams that played in the SEC, so we're excluding Texas and Oklahoma, to see what the turnover margin was. Did the offense avoid turnovers well enough to make it to where you were still tops in the league in that category? But since 2021, South Carolina's turnover margin is only +4. For reference, the top 3 teams in the SEC, Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss being the highest by far, all north of +20 in that time span. Ole Miss is +28. I believe Tennessee's was +26, and Alabama's was +21 or 22. And South Carolina is sitting at +4. There are not a lot of teams in the negative. Georgia, for reference, I think was maybe a +8. Theirs wasn't fantastic, considering how good they have been since 2021. I figured that would be a lot better. It just hasn't. But there's not a lot of teams in the negative. So despite maybe leading the SEC in takeaways since 2021, unfortunately, they have given the ball up enough to where it has almost negated the success on defense.
This is just, as you're saying this immediately makes me think about money, right? You think about getting the ball with money, and it's just like money. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It matters how much money you keep, or how much money you have, right? You can make as much as you want. You can make $10 million. If you spend 11, you're broke.
You're broke, yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? So, yes, you can lead with, oh, man, our company made $20 million last year. We spent 25. Then you're not doing well as a company.
You're not bringing any home.
So this is the same concept with this idea of takeaways. Yes, you can lead the league in takeaways, or you can be very successful in takeaways, but if you're also giving away, then it evens out. It comes out where it's not necessarily an advantage for you. And similar to money, taking care of the ball is not fun.
It's not sexy.
Taking care of your money is not sexy. Putting it in a savings account, or maybe in a real boring IRA, that's not sexy. It's like, hey, man, you want to get 30% returns on this pyramid scheme I got going on? That sounds cool, right? But that's fun. That's sexy. You also probably end up being broke.
Getting scammed.
Yeah, you will end up getting scammed. So when I think about turnovers, you think about it like the idea of money. It's probably best to be slow and boring and unsexy and traditional, and you'll probably end up in a better spot, but it's not a lot of fun to take care of the ball and to have ball security. It's like, whatever. We don't want to hear that, but it's important.
It's kind of like the drummer in a band. Is that sexy? No, but without the beat, you gotta
have that.
Yeah.
You gotta have that.
It's vitally important.
And so so you'll hear these a lot of times. Offenses talk about protecting the ball, and oftentimes that's not a lot of fun for us fans to hear, because believe us, every single play the defense is trying to take it away. We don't care about that, but it's vitally important.
Right, and it's fundamental. It's one of those things, too, that it's so frustrating. It doesn't matter what the sport is. If you can do a lot of fancy stuff, like in basketball, you're making behind-the-back passes, or in football, you're making all these one-handed catches, and you're doing all this cool stuff, but you fail to secure the fundamentals of the game, then as a player over the course of a large sample size, you're nowhere near as productive as you can be. That's the ultimate potential killer, is not taking care of a lot of those little things.
When we're talking about offense, we've been talking about Lenoris all the time, which, again, he has had we'll see if he has a ball security issue, right? There was issues with that last year. But when we're talking about Lenoris and the hype train, we're talking about him making all these plays, throwing people off and running people over.
The sexy stuff.
Nobody wants to talk about, oh, man, did you see Lenoris carry the ball with the 5 points of pressure? Oh, man. He had the ball high and tight, tucked it in between his wrist and his elbow and his shoulder, and he had it real tight. Oh, that's not going to show up on a highlight film.
The fundamentals aren't fun. They are essential.
They are.
Yeah.
They have to be done.
And expected.
They have to be done, but we're just not going to. And that's with any industry, right? The fundamentals are not going to be sexy. They're not going to be fun, and people aren't going to celebrate them. But if they don't happen, you'll notice it immediately. And so that's ball security. It's not fun. It's not sexy, but it's important. It's vital.
And the only time it really stands out is if you're watching someone like Tiki Barber, who I think is the one player who kept that ball up here, and you are not getting that thing out with a crane. Like you are not removing that ball from that man.
But why was he doing that? Because he had fumbling issues.
Yep.
That man was he
was not going to see the field if he didn't do that.
He would lay it out. We're going to talk about this later, but the only kryptonite for who I consider one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen, AP, Adrian Peterson, was couldn't hold on to the ball sometimes.
Coughing it up.
He coughed it up a lot, disproportionately for how great he was. And so, yeah, it's not sexy. We're not going to talk about it. It probably doesn't arrive on any rivals. Nobody's a 5-star because they hold on to the ball. But it is important.
No coach starts a press conference with, not the fastest guy in the world, but man, does he hold on to that football.
Those 5 points of pressure, man, I'm telling you, he has all of them. Nobody cares.
Yeah, Timmy over here's got a real grip on that football. You are not taking that away from that. It's his football.
Yeah.
But it's vitally important. Again, it is incredibly important. And that's the thing with this offense. I'm not really worried about interceptions. I think Lenoris matured and developed so well as a passer that I don't think he's really putting the ball in harm's way once it's in the air. But the ball security thing in the backfield may be worse than interceptions, because I do believe in the concept of the arm punt, right? If it's 3rd and 18 and you're chucking it 20 yards down the field and the ball gets picked off, it's like a bad punt, right? If you make a tackle soon thereafter. But if you're fumbling the ball in the backfield, you are fumbling it closer to the opposite end zone. Those are backbreakers. And heaven forbid you be on your own 20 when it happens, and then you're gifting field position. We can talk about some of the really nerdy things about throwing mechanics and accuracy and ball placement. But what I want to see from Lenoris Sellers is getting off to a good start this year by not fumbling the football in the backfield. Because, again, that was really his kryptonite last year. Was as good as he was, the ball was on the ground way too much. And when the margins are going to be thin, I think they'll be thinner this year than they were last year, that can make the difference in a game.
Yeah, and some of that's on him, trying to do too much at times. But some of that also, and this is why football is a beautiful game and it's all interconnected, some of that's also on their tackles.
Yep.
Protection. Did you give up the blind side, and now all of a sudden he was in the pocket and he didn't see somebody come over for a strip sack? All of it is always going to be interconnected. And so, yes, everybody has to take responsibility for that, what happens. But ball security, again, not sexy, but it is vitally important.
And that's really the key to being in the plus part of turnover margin. But when does losing the turnover battle go wrong? And I guess the real question is, since we were on the topic, how wrong can it go? Well, I have an example of the perfect precautionary tale from one of the sport's biggest traditional brands. It may or may not have been the brand that brought you the Fumblerooski, maybe played with fire a little too much, and it may have cost a coach a job. I'll tell you who that is and who we should not be here in Columbia next here on the Early Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
This is Boomer Esiason with Sports Minute. On Saturday, Jen Powell will become the first woman to umpire a Major League game. She'll work the bases in the Miami at Atlanta doubleheader and call balls and strikes on Sunday. Powell's promotion comes 28 years after the NBA introduced female officials and 10 years after the NFL hired its first full-time female official. Only league now that needs to get with the program is the NHL. I'm Boomer Esiason.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The back-to-school deals at Kohl's are so good, it'll feel like spoiling yourself. With 20% off the stuff your kids will actually wear, like jeans, tees, sneakers, and more. You can do it all without overdoing your budget. See? Sometimes parents get spoiled too. Head to Kohl's or Kohls.com to start the year off right for less. Select styles. Coupon ends August 10th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Josh loves the summers in Columbia, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
We have a cedar-sided home at the end of the woods, painted like 1980s beige. We wanted something that was more of a mid-century and modern look. We were driving around and we saw a sign in somebody's yard that said Rhino Shield. It's not paint.
It's not paint. It's better.
We gave Rhino Shield a call, and they were fantastic with the arrangement on the schedule. The 25-year guarantee was important to us. This is our forever home, and we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is going to last a long time.
Stop painting year after year and get Rhino Shield right now for 10% off the regular price.
I'd say if you're thinking about Rhino Shield, just do it. It's been 2 years now, and it still looks like the day it went on.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer's limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
2-2. Hit on a line deep in the field. Off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score. Giuliani coming home. Ball game. South Carolina walks it off. Brady Westbrooks. A 3-run double to end it. Huge upset.
Boys from Irmo are headed to Williamsport. They walked off a win over the defending Little League World Series champions from Lake Mary, Florida. And they were down. So Florida took a 4-0 lead in the final inning, but pitcher Jacob Brown opened with a pair of walks, hit his pitch limit, securing 1 out. Relief pitcher gave up a single, 2 more walks. I mean, it just ended up. Then this young man, Brady Westbrooks, hit a 2-out, 3 RBI double with a deep line drive to the left field to steal the 5-4 win.
He got all that ball, too.
Yes, he did.
got all of it.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I had to
That's
celebrate
so
them
much
for a second. That's so exciting for the kids from Irmo heading to Williamsport.
Congratulations to them from Irmo. Not a walk-off.
And that is another reason that I was bringing this up, because I'm like, I know this will spark a debate.
Congratulations to you. Awesome job. My childhood dream was to go to the Little League World Series. You did it. You came back. A game-winning hit.
Yes.
Still not a walk-off.
And that's why another part of that spurred, because ESPN actually said walk-off win, and I thought, oh, this is going to get Preston.
Unfortunately.
Is higher.
I would like to hear the rationale as to why it is not a walk-off.
We don't have It's an ongoing thing, but essentially a walk-off is a home run. And a home run only.
Per
the definition of the word. When it was used by Dennis Eckersley, when he first used it, he used it to describe a home run that the pitcher had to walk off the mound.
Oh, okay. I learned that. All right. Yeah. I think I might be convinced.
Unfortunately, like a lot of things, we've let the definition of the word slip. We don't have any standards anymore in society, and so we use it for everything.
Well, you know what, Brady? Don't let us be baseball Grinches.
Yeah, right.
Game-winning hits. It's still awesome.
And you are still making a road trip.
You can call it a walk-off.
Absolutely. All day long.
You know, I guess while still factually incorrect, because I think I've now been convinced, all I needed was some evidence. That was all. That's all I needed.
Yep.
Was a little bit of evidence and a trace of origin here.
We may have had this conversation or two about, the deep dive on what a walk-off really is.
The meaning of words. But you know what, Brady, if they said it on the broadcast, you can say it for the rest of your life.
ESPN tweeted that?
You can keep it, Brady.
ESPN tweeted it.
Keep it.
Absolutely. Just don't misuse it in your life.
Right.
But if ESPN tweeted it and they say it on the broadcast, you walked it off.
Keep it.
But congratulations to the kids from Irmo. That's exciting.
It's
Take
really
it home.
exciting. Yep.
Take it home. If you beat the defending champions, sky's the limit, fellas.
I know. That's pretty exciting.
Sky's the limit.
Yep.
No, but there's nobody you can't beat at this point in time.
Chinese Taipei still out in the Little League World Series streets. They still the big dogs.
They still appear.
Still appear.
They still appear. I don't know when the last time they won, but
still.
And and I just saw, because I do like watching the Little League World Series, so I saw like Ohio and Illinois play, I think yesterday. But they had shown a roster of like the different teams that have won recently. And they're not quite as dominant as they were.
Okay.
Yeah, not as dominant, but they had a run.
Yeah, they did.
They certainly had a run. We're hoping to see South Carolina Gamecocks go on a run this year, and part of that is taking care of the football. And before we get out of here in the first hour, just wanted to share a precautionary tale as to what could possibly go wrong if you don't take care of the football. Anybody heard of Nebraska? Nebraska Cornhuskers?
Have.
Tom Osborne, Tommy Frazier, Scott Frost.
Good squads.
Good squads for a long, long time. Well, they're not that anymore. Things have changed. Eric Crouch ain't walking through that door. Neither is Tom Osborne. But in 2023, they almost had exactly what they had in the past, a dominant run game. Almost rushed for 200 yards a game that year. You know what their record was? 5-7. Defensively, they oftentimes won the yardage battle. They still finished 5-7. You know what their turnover margin was for an entire year? -17.
Oh, no.
-17 in turnover margin. And it wasn't like they got blown out a lot. They lost a lot of one-score games. And I think if I counted correctly, they lost 5 one-score games that season. Specifically, their final games at Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, and Iowa, all one-score losses. They lost the turnover battle in that game a lot. And then if you just take it back to 2020, maybe one of the worst turnover margins given how few games they played. Remember, they only played 8 games that year, -11 in the turnover battle, and they went 3-5. But Elijah, they didn't lose a lot of one-score games. Correct, because they turned the ball over so many times in some of those games, they didn't give themselves a chance to lose a one-score game. So when we're talking about the importance of winning the turnover battle, if you lose it to that degree, because I've been looking at turnover margins for teams for a pretty good bit yesterday, just trying to get a grasp of what's really good and what's really bad. And when I saw the 23 Nebraska Cornhuskers and the 2020 Nebraska Cornhuskers, I realized that is as bad as it gets. Don't be them.
Yeah, they don't want to do that, especially that team that ran the ball so well. I mean, it feels like every time they threw the ball, they threw an interception, what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Throw the ball to your team. And that's just don't be Nebraska. And I think that's good advice for everybody, especially in college football. The NFL and ESPN have a significant media deal. It's made a lot of headlines, but it's not the best news. We'll talk about that next.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Preston here for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, we've been trying to tell you all along, and now guess what? There's 580 hours until the season hits. That means it is here, and it's upon us. That means you still have time, but time is running down to get your outdoor setup ready. You can have Samsung Terrace TVs that are waterproof, Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music, Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors, so you can have all your devices playing all the sports all the time. Your phone, your laptop, your iPad, TV, all playing, no lag time because you got great Wi-Fi that's working for you at all times. From home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security systems from your cell phone, Integrated Media is the company that you need to call. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or reach them online at integratedmediainc.com.
Sponsored by Metz Plumbing.
844-732-DRIP. If you got a problem, it just won't quit. And you need a plumber, Metz Plumbing, MetzPlumbing.com.
Hendrick. Columbia's new choice for Chevy and GMC sales and service is now open. Love Chevrolet and Love GMC are now Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC. Part of Hendrick Automotive Group, the #1 rated dealer group in the nation. Choose from an even larger selection of Chevy and GMC trucks and SUVs. And buy now and make no payments for 4 months. Experience the Hendrick difference at the all-new Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC in Columbia. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Firehouse Subs, hook and ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin sliced honey.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, we offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options to cover your small business needs and more. Visit Progressive.com today.
Skip the oil frying with air. Like a Bosch. Crispy like the county fair. Like a Bosch. Cook like a Bosch.
Go inside Krager Showrooms, formerly The Nest, in the Vista to find out how you can cook like a Bosch.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Still working an earlier slowdown North Main Street at Wilson Boulevard, Highway 21 near I-77. And yeah, we're going to stay a little bit cooler. We might not even hit 80 today. Could be 79 for the high. Overnight low 69, maybe just a couple random showers today and tomorrow and into Saturday. Tomorrow's high 82, 85 on Saturday. And by Sunday, maybe again, a couple scattered storms, 83 for our high. But right now, it's a little bit overcast. Sitting at 70 on 107.5 The Game.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
number 2 of the early game starts right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Preston Thorne. She's Jen Jensen. School is back in session, and I think we need a scouting report really quick before we get into this NFL story and how Preston has handled now being a parent of a child who had their first day of school.
Yeah, for the analytic report for the Thorne family, there was 0 tears yesterday. The 0 tears from the parents, 0 tears from the child. So we all held up pretty strong. In fact, she pretty much gave us a hug and was like, "All right,
you're out of here.
We'll see you," because I've got a play kitchen to play with and blocks and Legos over here, and there's friends. So I'm out. So it was like, hey,
right.
So she was gone. So it was cool. They had everything very well organized. Everybody was very happy to see us walking her to class. She did ask, I told Elijah during the break, she did ask a very deep philosophical question. Do I have to go again the next day? Because she hasn't quite gotten the grasp of tomorrow yet. So she was like, do I have to go again the next day? And I was like, yeah. You got to go again and again and again. Yeah. It's kind of welcome to life, kid.
Yeah.
Introduce her to the grind.
Yeah.
Right now.
You're on the grind now. So, yeah. So everything went well. And so we're excited for day 2 today.
Yeah. Did you get a report on how day one went?
There was a smiley face.
Okay.
So it was a smiley face. So we did get a solid report on day 1. And she kind of dripped the story to us as the day went along.
Okay.
So she kind of would tell things about the day that happened. I've already learned one child in class's name, which usually is typically not a great thing. She was already talking about one student in class. So they are going to probably be they are probably going to be an interesting case study for the rest of the year. So I'm looking forward to hearing stories about them for the rest of the year. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Won't dox the kindergarten troublemaker on day 1.
Exactly.
Because there's one in every class.
Right. Yeah, typically as from the teacher side, the student's name you learn first. Usually something to that.
Okay. Yeah. It'll be curious to see how that all plays out as time goes on, and how quickly you either continue to hear of said child's name, or maybe teacher will get it nipped in the bud and you won't.
Yeah, but also here's the other thing that I also know as a teacher is that she will neglect any parts of the story that she plays any of these. So I'm sure it'll always be them.
Okay. Veteran move.
I will not let her talk. For the sake of your daughter, I will not let her talk to mine, because I'm pretty sure that's how she operated in elementary school. Yeah.
Those
people.
I can't believe they're doing this.
Wasn't me.
Right.
Did not partake.
Yeah.
It was them.
Mm-hmm. I reminded her on many occasions, when you point to somebody else, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you.
Right. So we'll see. But solid report for yesterday. All was well.
That's right. And just like all of us, we all learned that lesson very early on. There is a next day.
Yeah, the next day.
the next day is looming.
I was like, oh, babe, sorry to tell you.
I hate to be the one to have to break this to you.
Yeah, the new clothes, the backpack, it's not just for one day.
Yeah. You got to do this again.
It's the next day for the rest of your life, not just school.
Yeah, right.
It's
the next day is the rest of your life.
Right.
So learning that lesson early. I think we all learned this week pretty groundbreaking news that the ESPN is acquiring the NFL Network, the rights to Red Zone, and a 10% equity stake in ESPN. Now, obviously, if you're keeping up with this news story on ESPN, this is fantastic news. If you are a lover of Red Zone and you hear Roger Goodell say something yesterday along the lines of maybe we're exploring options of having other red zones for other sports, you're like, that's great. This is amazing news. This is so cool. We might get SEC Red Zone or NBA Red Zone, MLB, whatever it is. This is so great. But don't let that carrot being dangled in front of you distract you from why this is actually bad news for the future of sports reporting. Maybe one of the worst news, I guess, you can get for the future of objective, honest sports reporting as it pertains to the biggest sporting enterprise in America.
It's a textbook example of a conflict of interest, because you cannot have the organization that's supposed to be reporting on you and you actually own part of that organization. That would in turn lead to some editorial decisions that may possibly be made when you're trying to report on this organization. It's not bad enough that they already had a lot of power and influence over them already
to begin with.
But now that they have an official ownership stake in it, I do think it's there's what I would assume is going to happen is there's going to be another entity, maybe the Athletic or somebody else who doesn't have direct ties to this, that you're going to have to go to for more clear and objective reporting, as opposed to ESPN, which essentially would just be a promotion vehicle for the NFL now.
This is going to be a media literacy segment right here, because
let's do it.
One of the biggest stories this summer in all of professional sports was essentially, because it wasn't technically ruled collusion, but between the NFL and the NFLPA, because the PA didn't help themselves out, and that's why it wasn't ruled collusion, because they didn't fight back hard because of some bad leadership. But when it came to guaranteed contracts in the NFL, there was an organized, concerned effort by the owners of the league to band together after Deshaun Watson got that fully guaranteed deal, which is the richest in the history of the NFL in terms of what is fully guaranteed, to make sure the next contracts that follow it, the precedent setters, don't do that. That is colluding to make sure that you're not giving out guaranteed money. There have been texts, I've alluded to this before, I'll allude to it again, between Chargers owner Dean Spanos and Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell, with Michael Bidwell being congratulated by Mr. Spanos on the contract he signed Kyler Murray because it wasn't anywhere close to fully guaranteed, and said, thank you for helping me out here because my quarterback is about to get a new deal, and I don't want that to be fully guaranteed. Well, when Justin Herbert's contract came up, guess what happened? Nowhere near the guarantees that they were pushing for. It was one of those things that you can easily tell this has happened, and Pablo Torre and Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk really uncovered
two independent organizations.
Yes, two completely independent organizations of ESPN uncovered this and brought this to light. And because of that story, there has been significant change. J.C. Treader, who was the head of the NFL, PA representing the players, out. The president of the NFLPA, out. Cleared it up at the top. And now the entire Players Association is riddled in turmoil right now. You know where you're not seeing a lot of coverage of that right now? The worldwide leader in sports. And that's bad for objective reporting that is relied upon by sports fans to get true and honest information. And one of the things, too, that if you want an example of how the NFL is more than happy to flex their muscle to get stories they don't like kind of shoved under the rug, how many times was the NFL deflecting on the concussion thing? Whenever, the studies were coming out about concussions and football having a direct correlation to the amount of traumatic head injuries that players face, which is A, I think we could all figure that out. But B, the NFL wanted to really gaslight you into thinking, oh, no, this is not an abnormality, right? There is no correlation. And they fought that for years. If they're willing to fight that, they will fight anything else that comes out. And if they are partners with ESPN and they have 10% stake, they are not afraid. Roger Goodell's not afraid to call ESPN and let them know who the boss is.
He's never been afraid to flex, right? He plays the great guy and he hugs everybody and he daps everybody up on the draft stage, and that's really cool. But it's always like, hey man, that guy is actively trying to squash you more than likely. A great instance of this type of collusion, for lack of the exact word, if you've watched and I haven't watched every episode, but the new SEC series, the new Any Given Saturday
on
Netflix, it's about the SEC. South Carolina's prominently featured in 3 episodes, I think like 1, 5, and 9, 1, 5, and 7, prominently featured. These are supposed to be, air quotes, behind the scenes, an all look at this programs, all access. The SEC had to give final sign off on this product, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a documentary, supposedly, an all access look at the season as it plays out. And they talk about the LSU and South Carolina game. And somehow, mysteriously, in telling the story about the South Carolina and LSU game, there's nothing, zero evidence that anything ever happened between Kyle Kennard and Garrett Nussmeier. There's no mention. There's no conversation. There's no talk about it. We don't know how this happened. We never see Nick Emenwari's negated pick six. That was part of this. That's a huge part of the story. But I'm sure the SEC and all this omnipresence said, like, hey, nah, we're not going to, let's not have that be part of the story. Because why would we want our officiating to be questioned? And because it's not a documentary, because they're in cahoots with each other and they're in business together, of course they complied. And that's fine because that's a product that they're creating.
Yeah, they agreed to it.
We're not getting the whole story. So years later, if somebody goes back and watches this documentary, they will not know the actual truth of what happened. They'll only know.
Yeah, and that's not proper journalism.
That's not exactly. That's not journalism. It's an entertainment product, which is fine. That's another category, but we can't sell it as journalism.
You can't.
And they took some heat online.
They did, yeah. It's like missing a pretty big detail as to what happened in that game. Hard to tell the story without it. Now, this is an example. We were talking to a buddy of mine who also works in our industry, and they have a contract with a prominent pro sports team in that town, in a town that has multiple pro sports teams. And he was telling me how one instance they were talking about the other pro sports team in that market during the season of that pro sports team and getting a call from a high-ranking member of that pro sports team they have the contract with, asking that this individual, why aren't you talking about our team? Well, it's not the season yet. I mean, this is more topical in the location. And I'll never forget what he told me of what he got back from said high-ranking official. Don't forget who keeps your lights on. Phone hangs up. If things are being talked about that Roger Goodell doesn't want talked about on ESPN, or something's being framed in a way that he doesn't like being framed, or maybe they don't like how much they're talking about college football when it's the push for the playoffs in the NFL, I would be naive to think that there isn't a call to ESPN that said, hey, remember who's keeping your lights on, even though they do a pretty good job keeping their lights on themselves. It might be something more along the lines of, hey, remember who's getting you that next boat.
Yeah. And you know the NFL is out for world domination.
Yep.
That's their clearest goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason they've invaded, like, Thanksgiving weekend.
And Christmas.
And Christmas.
The NBA is their competitor.
Yeah, they're on it. But here's an interesting thing that we saw is that Roger Goodell doesn't see the NBA or NBA or MLB as their competitors. He's focused on mega companies like Apple, Nike. Like he's got his sights set to the top of where they're going, and that's why they invade the whole calendar. Mm-hmm. That's why they're going international. That's why football rules this for numbers wise. The Hall of Fame game drew, I think, 6 million eyes to the meaningless first preseason game where nobody played, and that was more than playoff games drawn for MLB and in the NBA. Because football is the king. It's the king of it's the number one sport in America for sure, and fighting with Premier League for the world. And that's the conversations that they're having. So ESPN's in a tough situation because when the big dog comes to you and say, "Hey, we have a deal for you," you can't tell them no.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, and it's more access to the sport.
Ticket prices going up at NFL games.
Oh, forever. They're not going backwards.
Yeah.
For sure.
They are never going back. Like a lot of prices in life, they are never going back to what we are accustomed to.
Oh, and just to include on the invasion, not only are they going to be on ESPN, but they're now on Netflix. They're on Prime. So they are exploring more facets for them to just gain more territory. So we'll see.
And we'll explore maybe some of the best blue chip prospects in the history of college football because rivals ranked them. We'll tell them who they had number one, which Gamecocks involved next.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach, The Game Network.
The Game Summer Golf Classic is Friday, August 22nd at Charwood Golf Club. Tee time is 9 a.m. Registration starts at 7:30. Mimosa bar provided by Saki's Wine and Spirits. Onion sausage for breakfast and Firehouse subs for lunch. And oh yeah, we have prizes. And the golf gun is back again. $400 a team. Call 803-755-2000 and press number 2 to sign up. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hey, Columbia, are you looking for the best gear to tackle your lawn? Well, call Cato's Power Equipment. Cato's Power Equipment has been serving the Midlands since 1983. And third-generation owner Ben Cato provides top-notch service, great deals, and the mom-and-pop values that you love. Ben is determined to raise the standard of sales, service, and retail. At Cato's, they are proud to offer a wide selection of new and pre-owned mowers, tractors, and more. So if you're ready to invest in something new, the friendly team is there to make the process easy, help you choose the right equipment, find financing options, and keep your gear running strong with expert service and parts. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned landscaping pro, Cato has you covered. So swing by Cato's Power Equipment today or call them at 803-254-3711. That's Cato's Power Equipment at 803-254-3711.
Did you know that your home's air ducts are the lungs of your home? Sounds pretty important, doesn't it? Thankfully, you can breathe easier indoors by calling Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Having pets and being prone to allergies, like myself, are just a few reasons to give the cleaning pros a call. Right now, take $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Hey, this is Terry Ford from 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. Let's take a minute to talk about your business. Things a little slow, and it's time for you to be heard on 107.5 The Game and The Game Network. Our powerful on-air and digital advertising options can help you reach more people, boost awareness, and remind your customers why they chose you in the first place. When listeners hear your name on the radio, it builds trust and keeps you top of mind when they're ready to buy. Radio works, digital works, let us prove it. Email us now at growmybusiness@cumulus.com. That's growmybusiness@cumulus.com, and let's grow your business together.
If you are looking for a local, reliable, and family-owned HVAC service right here in the Midlands, you can trust our friends over at Krantz Cooling and Heating since 1983. They've been taking care of residents and businesses right here in the Midlands. Krantz Cooling, that's Krantz, cooling with a K, KrantzCooling.com, or 803-672-3224. You can schedule a visit online and get more information at KrantzCooling.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Just one accident, and it's more in the Hopkins area, Congaree Road at Cabin Creek Road. And your forecast for today, we're looking for just a chance for a shower. 79 for the high, a couple showers maybe tomorrow and Saturday. High 82 and 85 respectively, but it's overcast currently, and it's 70 on 107.5 The Game.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Acquiring five-star talent, mightily important in college football. The name of the game is recruiting. And Rivals compiled a list of their best all-time five-star prospects. Now, I think Rivals has only been doing this maybe since the super late 90s or early aughts. But even with a small sample size, they have given a lot of high school players five-star ratings. Not all of them pan out, because trust me, Preston and I, before the show even started this morning, when we got in here, went through the 2015 top-rated recruits in college football. And I think we got to about number 25, and I want to say about 15 of those 25, we responded with who? A lot of them don't pan out, but some of them do. So they have a list. It's 1 to 32 of those best five-star prospects of all time. And we'll just do the 10. Go from 10 to 1. Number 10, Bryce Young. Played at Alabama. He won a Heisman. Number 9, Myles Garrett, Texas A&M. He was number 1 overall pick, and he's arguably the best edge rusher in the league right now. Number 8, Julio Jones at Alabama. He will be a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Number 7, Matt Stafford at Georgia. Hall of Fame quarterback. You giving it to him? I'm giving it to him.
Still going, though.
He's
still time.
I'm giving it to him.
Okay.
After that Super Bowl, I was like, he's done so much and did it with the Detroit Lions of all places.
I'll tell you this: if there's an argument for Eli, then there better be an argument for Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'd say there's a better argument.
I'll say that.
If you told me, said Elijah, you can only put one of these two guys in.
Easily, Matt.
I think I put Matt Stafford.
I agree.
I feel a lot better about putting Matt Stafford in than I would Eli Manning. Number 6, South Carolina's Jadeveon Clowney. Now this is on the list.
Again, this is based on what they did in college. This is based on what they did in how they performed in college. So yes, there's obviously that conversation. Man, that's never gonna happen again. That Clowney coming. Like that was such a movement. That was a time you had to be in here to see that whole phenomena take place. And for him to be obviously a local guy, to take over the national conversation like that for little old South Carolina, it was what a time to be alive around here for sure.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You didn't. I was gonna say his high school recruitment would have been what 2000.
I was there for the whole thing. I had the dishonorable pleasure of coaching against them several times. Yeah, again, this squad also had Stephon Gilmore and several dudes on that team who went on to play in the NFL. So South Point always has ballers for sure.
How bad was the game when you had to coach against him? What was the final result?
The year we coached against him, it was not good. First of all, it was not
Preface
good.
it, industry term, not good.
But not necessarily because of him. I mean, he did what he did, but it was all the other dudes on the team that was so great. So yeah, we were mismatched.
That's my favorite
Outgunned
thing.
and outnumbered.
My favorite thing about high school football is you might be, you finally work your way to be the starting left tackle for your high school team. You're not going to play in college, but you might want to get into, a certain industry, or maybe you want to just, make some money in the corporate world, have a family, live a happy life.
Yeah, maybe you just want to play ball with the boys.
You just want to play ball with the boys, and you had a long day in geometry, and you got to step out in the football field and block Jadeveon Clowney. Happy Friday, buddy. You get to block that guy. Or if you're a quarterback, it's, I just had the hardest day in trigonometry of my life. I might not pass this class. Oh, and tonight I got to worry about running away from Jadeveon Clowney. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But a story that you can say.
You can tell that story for the rest of your life, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you can say, I blocked Jadeveon Clowney, because you probably did block him once.
You did get a hand on him.
You probably did block him a time. The other 80 plays of this, you probably didn't. But one time, you can tell your kids, hey, I blocked him one time.
When the Panthers drafted,
the play was going away from me. It was the fourth quarter. They were up by, but I did block him once.
He was going 30%, and I was going 100, and I got 2 hands on Jadeveon Clowney. I love hearing people's stories about that. It's to this day, one of my memorable high school basketball memories, getting dunked on by Corn Elder, and it was in embarrassing fashion. Maybe not as embarrassing as the 7th grade voice squeaking incident that I alluded to earlier in the show, but it is comparable because an entire gym is going nuts. Ooh. Oh! Yeah, and the guy that dunked on you is 5'9", and I am about a good, 6-7 inches taller than him. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. But then when the Carolina Panthers drafted him to play football, I felt a little more valid.
Yeah, you want to go back to all those people and say, hey, listen, that's that guy.
Played corner in the NFL, man.
And I knew that when I was playing him.
I knew it. I knew he was going to yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm talking about him and making a 1 bajillionth less than what he is. But,
Yeah, right. It's an incomprehensible fraction to what that guy made in his career. Also, he's the guy at Miami that ran that kickback against Duke where they had the 12 laterals. He was the one that eventually scored that play. And I remember watching that game being like, oh, who just scored? Oh, and I got flashbacks. I immediately got gym flashbacks. But that's the best part about high school football and high school sports is you never know. You might just have, a tough day at school and you get to face off against a future pro and they make you look silly. And you get to tell that story the rest of your life. But Jadeveon Clowney was that for a lot of kids in the state of South Carolina.
Absolutely.
A lot of them. Now, the rest of the list, interesting. I would make some edits, but here's how they go. 5, Cam Newton. 4, Tim Tebow. 3, Adrian Peterson. 2, Vince Young. 1, Reggie Bush. I think I'd put Cam Newton at number 2. I know he didn't do it for as long, and that longevity's probably baked into this list, but Cam Newton is the greatest college football quarterback, most unstoppable college football quarterback I have ever watched.
Yeah, Tyler and I have talked about this, and I don't know if we have, but when you look at there were 0 pros on that offense. He was the only player on that offense to even sniff the NFL, which means he carried just a bunch of dudes that are just civilians working like everybody else now.
Just members of the workforce,
Yes.
all LinkedIn team, if you will.
Yes, he carried a bunch of LinkedIn All-Stars to the national championship on his back.
I'm going to give you the same quiz I gave Jay Phillips yesterday. Who was the leading receiver on that team? And I'll narrow it down to 2 players. Latrell Williams or Darvin Adams?
Darvin Adams.
It was Darvin Adams. Latrell Williams, I made up. A totally made up name. I just made it up. I thought Latrell Sprewell in my head, and I'm like, what's the last name I can think of? Williams. Made up a name.
Sounded good to me. You could have said Darvin Adams was made up. I would have been like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I told that to. I gave Jay the same trivia question. He goes, Latrell Williams. I'm like, funny you say that. Not a real person. Made it up. Completely made up the name. And now Darvin Adams and Terrell Zachary were the 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, everybody remembers Terrell Zachary.
Now, maybe if we were doing Auburn radio, somebody would be like, yeah, let's name some dudes.
Oh, that's dude naming season. If we were doing this show in Auburn, Alabama,
on the Plains. If we were doing this on the Plains, they'd be like, oh, yeah, that's some dudes.
Would be prime dude remembering season. We're not in Auburn, Alabama, but we will be traveling to Lawsuit City because there's a possibility that actions will be made to prevent further trips to our new favorite municipality, and we'll tell you what that is next here on the Early Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Network.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
You know, they say perfection is a journey. Well, our journey to update a couple of bathrooms in our house led us to Carolina Stone Craftsman just outside Columbia in Chapin. We learned early on after visiting their showroom, which is incredible, that from customer idea to the fabrication process to the installation, every step of the process is meticulous. They understand that kitchen or bath projects can be, you know, a pretty significant expense, and that's why they really work hard and make it a priority to deliver the most affordable granite, marble, and quartz, while, of course, delivering the highest quality encounters and service. So if you are in the process of thinking about redoing something in a kitchen or a bath and you're going to need some countertops, I encourage you to reach out to Carolina Stone Craftsman and tell them Jen Jensen sent you. They're family-owned and operated. Carolina Stone Craftsman, just beyond Columbia in Chapin and beyond your expectations. Check them out online, carolinastonecraftsman.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The Mega Millions jackpot is $166 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds and a store near you.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's Back to School BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Just use promo code BOGO, B-O-G-O, when scheduling online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit ShepherdsGlass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Platte Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. ShepherdsGlass.com.
Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Too often guys won't go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they just don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in health care for men and dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. You can schedule a free consultation by calling 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
Firehouse Subs, hook and ladder jingle, take 1.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin sliced honey.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
At Atkins Law, we are proud alumni of USC. Since graduating, our attorneys continue to be proud supporters of Gamecock sports.
And we understand that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see on the field. There's practice, there's diligence, there's loyalty. All of those things we put into practice every day.
Remember, if you've been hurt on the job, who you hire matters. Call us at 803-251-6406 or find out more at hollyatkinslaw.com.
It's part sports. We have football on the brain. Part pop culture. Dennis Leary. True or false? You refuse to wear a glove with Mickey Mantle's signature on it for the movie The Sandlot.
The Red Sox blood, the Brewers blood, they run deep.
And in the best celebrity interviews. Robert De Niro here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Just got over a 24-hour virus.
The antidote is to appear on The Rich Eisen Show.
There you go. I would have done it earlier.
And you've got The Rich Eisen Show podcast. There is a medicinal quality to appearing on this program. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Columbia Highway near Jake's Knot Bridge. There is an accident there. It's kind of right at Tom Draft Circle. So if you are in that vicinity, just be mindful of that. 79 for the high today. Couple showers here and there. Not a huge chance, but something could pop up and then go away just as quickly. 82 for the high tomorrow, 85 on Saturday. A few showers each of those days. By the time we get to Sunday, there's a chance for some scattered storms and a high of 83. Temperatures will start going up on Monday, but currently a little bit overcast, and we're looking at 69 on 107.5 The Game.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
No, Axel, not Paradise City. No, sir. Take me home to Lawsuit City. That's where the NCAA presides, in Lawsuit City. And that's the town that is the most important in college sports. Has been for a while now. Some would say Lawsuit City has been the most pivotal town in the history of college sports, starting back in the 80s when Georgia and Oklahoma sued for television rights. You could pinpoint it there. Some like to pinpoint it to the Ed O'Bannon case. But the NCAA spent a ton of time in Lawsuit City, and they've been saying, take me home for a long, long time now. But this week, Ross Dellinger tweets out an announcement from athletes.org, and I'll just read the tweet here. I will not read the entire press release. Congratulations, or I'm sorry, I'm not reading all that. But
exactly.
I will summarize the way Ross did. Ross says, athletes.org, AO, announces that its leaders presented to 24 Power Conference general managers on Sunday in Nashville their plan for collective bargaining, a similar presentation they've socialized with coaches and ADs. All GMs support a version of a CBA in college football, athletes.org says. And I think that's the one thing, if there's anything that will put Lawsuit City out of the NCAA's business, this would be a step in doing so, because ultimately we can come up with as many solutions that we can think of. All roads will eventually circle back. It's like a big roundabout with only one exit in Lawsuit City, but that exit is on Collective Bargaining Street.
So it was really interesting, the wording. I always listen to the wording of what is being said, and they said that they will support a version of, right? So it's very easy to throw your support behind a version of, because A, what does support mean? Does that mean we're signing up for it? Does that mean we're going to be an influence in our institutions? Two, a version of, there's a lot of versions that can look like. So it's a start. The only issue with this is that the general managers at this moment have no power to support this, because they are not the ones who will be making this decision. As is currently stated, because college football specifically, that's what we're talking about right now, it's under the umbrella of the NCAA, the institutions are the ones who will make this decision. So the GMs can support it all they want to. That's great. It's a good first step to have somebody in the building and say, yeah, this is a good idea. Maybe they can kick the ball down the road and move it a little bit further. But ultimately, the institutions are going to have to decide whether they want their student athletes to be some form of employees. And we're very far away from that right at this moment.
Yes. And if we were going to rank, I guess, the hierarchy of those in the athletic department, the football GM is a lot lower on the scale, right? But I think what is at least important, that gives me a little optimism. I do, as an individual, like to look at things in more of a glass half full type scope. It's that sentence where it says a similar presentation they've socialized with coaches and ADs, meaning the conversation's being had. And I do think, as much as the athletic directors in the country don't want to do it, and it will be every bit of a last resort type thing, I think them having an idea of what this looks like in their heads might make it a little bit easier of a pill for them to swallow once they realize that this is the way to end a lot of what is burdening you in the world of college athletics.
Yeah, because they can just reading through this, and again, there's a lot and I would encourage you to go read it if it's something that you're interested in. But a lot of the general complaints that most common folks have seem to be addressed here, whether they're talking about retooling the transfer portal, they're talking about having transparency around payments, they're talking about seeing performance-based incentives as far as payment is concerned. That's a lot of the things that we're all talking about, like, hey, okay, these dudes and dudettes are getting paid. What's going on? How much? What's for? What's the contract around? Especially since these are public institutions and everybody else's who is a public institution is salaries are available, then they should be too. So a lot of the issues that we all sort of, not issues, I would say just questions.
Yep.
They're kind of addressed by this, but again, it's very far away from the institutions actually doing something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing too, like the institutions with something like what they laid out and exactly what you mentioned, this could provide them protection from a really bad investment, right? What's the one reason that people say that like an 18-year-old shouldn't get this money even though if school is willing to pay them? Like a lot of times it's like you don't know if the kid's that good. And that's an issue the schools have to be able to handle, right? Like you have to really believe in that kid to give him, like, Texas Tech is giving out like $400K, I think was one of the numbers that I saw in terms of what they're giving elite high-level, like high school recruits. I did read a story where they are really going in on overpaying for high school talent in hopes of retention. But there's no guarantee for retention, right?
So it's a high-risk, high-reward situation.
It is a very high-risk, high-reward thing. Something like this protects you to a certain degree. Yes, you will still have to pay them, but you would not have to pay them in full if you have a lot of incentive-based bonuses in there. And the only way you can have any type of incentive-based bonus or have a agreed-upon roster contract structure across the board is when that is collectively bargained. This opens the door to potential not just additional like workplace benefits for like the athletes, but it can provide protections too. Like there is a way to help both student athlete and administrations at the same time.
Yeah, and the NCAA wants to stay out of this because traditionally when they go to Lawsuit City, their car gets broken into, the tires get slashed, and they don't walk out of there the same person that they can't. They lose every time they go to Lawsuit City, right?
Yep.
So they want to avoid this as much as possible, and these are going to help them stay away from going to the Supreme Court again or having any of these things challenged. It's a simple solution. Now, is it going to be easy to get there? That's probably the bigger question.
Yeah, that's going to be a little more complex. And Lawsuit City is a complex place, but the racetrack is a little more simple. And we're going to be doing it a little early today. Our man Josh Harris is going to join us next for the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge here on the Early Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. When USC men's hoops coach Lamont Paris talks.
My favorite part of this whole job is the relationships and the development of players.
You hear it here.
Now you have to do a lot of the teaching and a lot of the demonstrating to 11 new guys.
Because it's always Gamecock season on The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with Sports Minute. The once omnipotent NCAA continues to cede authority to the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC. Moving forward, the Power 4 conferences will have 65% weighted voting power in deliberations regarding rules changes impacting members of the NCAA. Given the importance these leagues play, said NCAA President Charlie Baker, they should have a bigger voice at the table. I'm Boomer Esiason.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Alan Kennington, responsible for this ad. Office in 1440 Broad River Road, Columbia, South Carolina.
You're hurt. With over 85,000 cases resolved, 12 offices across the state, and over $1 billion recovered in just the past 10 years, you need South Carolina's largest injury law firm on your side. You need George Sink now. George Sink knows South Carolina, and George Sink lawyers will help you every step of the way on your recovery.
Get George Sink Law Firm on the line. Call 999-9999.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
75 years. One reputation. Too tough to tame. The Lady in Black doesn't care who you are. Rookie or vet, playoffs favorite or long shot. 75 years of scraped walls, battle scars, and history made the hard way. This Labor Day weekend, be there to write the next chapter of the Cookout Southern 500. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Darlington Raceway, August 30th and 31st. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing. That's what Darrell Waltrip used to say, right?
I'm impressed.
You like that? There's a pull. There's a pull. It's a NASCAR pull for you. Big Darrell Waltrip guy.
Yeah, I think he's great, and I think his brother Michael does well on broadcasts and stuff too. They're pretty iconic personalities.
Yes, very big personalities. And one of our favorite NASCAR personalities joins us right now, Josh Harris, because it's the Corley Pool Solutions Checker Flag Challenge. And another week, another road course. But Josh, I got to ask you for my course or my course scouting report today. What makes Watkins Glen a specific type of road course challenge, maybe compared to some of the others that we've seen so far this summer?
Yeah, hey, good morning. I think Watkins Glen's probably one of our faster road courses that we visit. They've got a couple of longer straightaway sections, and even some of the turns still allow the cars to maintain a pretty high rate of speed. You've got a nice section kind of going down their backstretch that puts you into the bus stop, which these guys kind of hit all corners of it, trying to maintain as much speed as they can. So I think a good racy road course, really nice track, beautiful part of the country, and I think it always puts on a good show.
Yeah, no question. It's a great track. You've got those hard braking zones. There's really only a couple places that you could actually pass on that track. So, and like you said, a lot of speed. So it's a little bit technical. I think it's a fun race. I really do. I think it's a really good one. I think Shane Van Gisbergen would love to erase the memory of last year when he lost with about the last lap or two to, I guess it was about 2 laps or something, and he ended up losing to Chris Buescher. So I have a feeling his eyes are going to be on the prize for sure coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I think SVG, obviously, probably betting favorite by far, especially given his recent success this season on the road courses. So, and then you add on that, probably a little bit of the sting from not being able to close it out last year. He's gonna be ready to go.
I think so. What were your thoughts overall about Iowa? I know there's been some conversations about the short track racing, and I know like Kevin Harvick is really a little disappointed and is talking about the power and the horsepower, and there's actually been some conversations more that I think NASCAR is looking into it. But overall, what was your assessment of the race in Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good race. There's a number of factors. I think going to that track, one, it's only the second time the Cup Series has been to Iowa. They've had different sections of the track repaved the last couple of years, and teams going there not really knowing how it's changed from one year to the other. I mean, it's right on the cusp of being a short track. It's 7/8 of a mile. You can argue it's really just a short, speedway track, but either way, fuel mileage race again. I know it doesn't always excite folks, but I think it does bring in some interesting strategy. You kind of got to pay attention, and Byron was able to hold on and have enough to get to the checker flag and then celebrate with the burnout. So overall, great turnout at Iowa. Great to see a packed grandstands for a second year in a row. And, I think it's a good part of the country. We need to be racing there in the Midwest. There's not ton of tracks, so we go to a lot up there. So good for that fan base in that area to get to see the Cup Series.
And it's fun when you celebrate a win, and up there where they're taking the pictures with the trophy and everything, and there's sweet corn available, cooked and ready. The people are taking bites of. It's
the
like,
real prize.
I mean, seriously, that just the better thing they could have done is like been dipping it in butter or something. That would have been great. But what a fun way to wrap up a race. I just thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, we had 2 weeks of fuel strategies coming into play. And funny, Bubba Wallace 2 weeks ago, and then William Byron this past week. Again, fuel strategy. Oh, don't know if we're going to make it. We're just on the edge. And they seem to still have enough for, to make it. And then the burnout. And so it's like, how much sandbagging's going on? And, I'm just kind of wondering, where we are and how much they can kind of fib with everything. I know that we have all of the telemetry and stuff like that on the broadcast, but I just wonder if that's an exact science.
Yeah, a little bit of gamesmanship going on, I think, since everybody's listening to everybody else's radio communication, and everybody can see the data, the telemetry, like you mentioned. I think there's probably some code words going on there that we haven't quite picked up on yet, and these crew chiefs and these team engineers are really smart. But at the end of the day, I think they're all aiming for whatever race it is, whenever their last pit stop, whatever they think that's going to be, they're trying to make it so they spend the least amount of time on pit road during that last pit stop. So that means they're going to take just enough fuel that they think will get them to the end, maybe one potential overtime finish. And they would rather take their chances with that track position and potentially running out of fuel than putting themselves further behind and having to pass a lot of cars there towards the end.
Yeah, 100%. So we are looking ahead to Watkins Glen, and current standings right now. Reggie's he won this past week. He had Byron, so he has 86 points. Bill has 80. Preston 79. Josh at 76. I'm wherever I am with like 67. So that means because I'm doing so poorly, I get the first pick, and I'm just not going to even overthink it. SVG is. I just have to, because I have to, which means that will be the kiss of death for him. So that said. That would leave that moves us to Josh. Who are you taking this week?
Well, I assumed that SVG would be off the board, so I'm going to go with the guy who got his first career Cup Series win at Watkins Glen back 7 or 8 years ago, Chase Elliott.
Yep, good call. He's really strong on road courses, so I agree. I think that's a good pick. Preston, who are you going with?
I am going to go with. Since SVG is off the board, which I assume that would be.
Right.
And I'm learning because when I saw Watkins Glen, I was like, oh, that's a road course. I am learning.
Good for
I'm learning
you.
things. That being said, I'm going with A.J. Allmendinger.
Yep, the dinger's good. All right, so that is Elijah will be the celebrity picker for Bill.
Yes. Give me Kyle Larson.
Okay, good call on that. And Reggie, that gives him with Christopher Bell. So thank you so much, Josh. We look forward to talking to you next week. And, of course, I know a lot of preparations going on. DarlingtonRaceway.com for tickets for your upcoming festivities over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, we're busy out promoting. Get your tickets at DarlingtonRaceway.com. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks so much.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com. This report is sponsored by Carolina Conditions Home Services. Carolina Conditions Home Services specializes in generators, drains, and electric car chargers, making them your one-stop shop for all your comfort needs. Visit their website at carolinaconditions.com or call 803-233-7172 for expert service you can count on.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Need better sleep? This Labor Day weekend, upgrade to premium sleep at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. Let their sleep experts match you with the perfect bed and get the rest you deserve. They make sleep easy. Shop Mattress Firm's best sale of the year.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hosteller-Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit LawyerLisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Daddy, you need a trust.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Life matters. His name was Attila, king of the Huns. He struck terror with his army of 500,000 men. He died in the prime of life, but not on the battlefield. It was on his honeymoon. Attila, after a raucous marriage feast, stepped into the honeymoon bedchamber and promptly passed out drunk. Unable to awaken Attila, servants forced their way in the next morning to discover the dead king, his young bride at his side softly weeping. No, she didn't murder him. It seems that for all his brute power and strength, the king had a weakness. He suffered from chronic nosebleeds. One came on him in his drunken state and he choked to death on his own blood. It reminds us that we all have our limitations. The Bible says some trust in horses, others trust in chariots, but we will trust in our God. This is Stephen Chitty from Christian Life Church, reminding you that life matters, and so do you.
Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Columbia Highway near Jake Knott's Bridge. There's an accident. They're still working to get cleaned up. Also, Congaree Road at Cabin Creek Road, Decker Boulevard near Two Notch, and South Beltline Boulevard, she says, at Bluff Road. There's also a slowdown due to an earlier accident, so they're working mightily to get those cleaned up. 79 will be our high today. A couple showers popping up today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Temperatures go up just a little bit. 82 tomorrow. 85 on Saturday. There's a possibility we might not even hit 80 today, which is kind of crazy being in August, but the 90s are around the corner again, don't you worry. Right now, 69.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The early game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell.
Let's get it.
And Jan Jensen. On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Hour number 3 of the early game starts right now. I'm Elijah Campbell. He's Preston Thorne. She's Jensen. And we are a little bit closer to the start of college football season. May sound like a lot, but if you're looking at the countdown clock here on the video stream, it does read 579 hours, 10 minutes, now 9 minutes and 58 seconds. Time keeps on slipping into the future. It's funny how that works, but that...
Do.
Yes. Call me Steve Miller, or the Joker, or Toker Midnight.
You can call me a space cowboy.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Call me the gangster of love.
Some people.
Some.
Maurice.
Might even call you Maurice.
Yeah.
Joe calls you Isaiah.
Yeah, Joe this morning called me Isaiah. He did say on the Firehouse Subs text line, he says, "Sorry, Elijah, it's early." I'm like, I'll let it pass. I'll let it pass. I had to bust you a little bit, on air, but I'll let it pass because, if I had a dime for every time somebody called me Isaiah, I would be
Do you get that a
retired
lot?
right now. A ton.
Ooh.
But Derek Mason, at the last station I worked at in Nashville, Derek Mason did not call me Elijah for at least 8 months working with him until he finally, because he just called me Isaiah.
Okay.
And at one point, it became just a running gag.
So did you call him Darren?
Right.
I'd have been
Darren
just
Mason.
tit for tat,
At some point, I just quit correcting him. I was like,
see the spelling on it. It's the spelling. It's the
yeah, it's the spelling. A lot of vowels.
Yeah.
Very biblical. Sometimes Isaiah is like, you hear Elijah, especially in a social interaction or I'm meeting somebody for the first time. And that's usually where it happens the most.
Okay.
They refer to me as Isaiah after that. And then depending how froggy I'm feeling, sometimes I'm just like, I just won't correct you. If it's someone I'm like, I don't think I want you to remember.
You're right.
I am Isaiah to you.
I am Isaiah.
Yes.
Yes. Look, and here's my number. And then you give him somebody else's number that you don't like.
Or the, I used to give my brother's number out to people sometimes just so he would get text or whatever and just be like, hey, I think you have the wrong number. I used to do that. My mom told me about the rejection hotline number, which used to be a thing where you'd give a phone number, they would call it, and it says, if you're hearing this voice message right now, you have been rejected. Welcome to the rejection hotline.
I've not heard of that. That's genius.
It might still be in my phone if we need it. I think I still might have it. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, or still fully operational. This was circa 2011, 2012. And it was something that used to really be a thing in the aughts, back when people were calling the rejection hotline on their Motorola Razors.
Back when people used phones to call people.
Yes.
Oh, that thing? Yeah.
Yeah, when you used them to call other human beings that also had flip cell phones, and you couldn't just go on there and doom scroll for hours.
Okay. Well, and this is something that maybe Gamecock fans could give the number to Clemson fans.
That would be good. Oh, that'd be fun.
You've been rejected.
Can we still create a hotline?
Don't see why we couldn't.
Oh, man,
Yep.
I feel a bit running, and we're going to bookmark this. Yeah, noted. Just, hear the little click of the pen. That has been noted. So,
I think
in the past. A lot of things in the past that we have discovered today that are still very much
oh my gosh,
very
right?
much a thing. Yeah, just go at @E_Campbell3 on Twitter if you'd like to see what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's a rabbit hole we will get into on air, but there are some things that are what we used to think of as relics that still exist, and it's like watching a velociraptor cross the street, right? It's like, I thought you were gone a long time ago.
Yeah, that's weird.
But thankfully, college football is not going to be that.
No.
It'll be around for a long time, even with all the changes. But with the season coming up, with a countdown clock in full motion, we've been breaking down all week what this team is basing themselves off of.
And that's the important part.
The important part
is that
yes.
they put the sign up in their indoor facility, and this is how they are defining their season. So this is how we will define their season for them.
Yep, on a game-by-game basis. And, I think that's just us being courteous. I'll give us a little pat on the back because we will judge them how you want us to judge you. And one of those things is win the turnover battle. Now, Shane Beamer at SEC Media Days pulled out a great stat. I love when coaches go up there and give you stat pulls, right? Because sometimes you're not privy to that information, or maybe that's information you kind of got to dig a little bit for. And Shane mentioned that since he took the South Carolina job in 2021, that the Gamecocks have led the SEC in takeaways. That's awesome. And they have had some defensive dudes who have helped make that magic happen. So it prompted me to look up, have you taken care of the ball well enough in these 4 years to really take advantage of winning the turnover battle? Because they win the turnover battle pretty frequently. And I think the more I looked at it, they were +3 in turnover margin last year. And when winning the turnover battle, they were 4-1. They won the turnover battle in only 5 games, though. Again, 4 + 1 is 5. But when they won it, they fared pretty well. And I think one of the very interesting part about when we're weighing what is important in games, we talked about the middle 8 yesterday. South Carolina was a +19 in the middle 8 against Alabama. That completely changed the course of that game. You would think, oftentimes, if you win the middle 8, 19 points, that's a really big advantage that should propel you to win in most football games. You know why it didn't, Preston Thorne? 4 turnovers.
Yes.
Including 3 lost fumbles. That is a killer. So then I went back and looked at what the turnover margin was, the amount that you turn another team over, but also weighing in what your turnovers are. And I went through the entire SEC of what their turnover margin has been since 2021. South Carolina, in these 4 years, has a turnover margin of +4. So they have forced 4 more turnovers, and they have turned the ball over. And for reference, 3 teams at the top of the SEC, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, in that order, are all north of +20 in that time frame. Ole Miss specifically +28.
That's wild. That's a high number.
That's a very high number. And Tennessee, who has had, Ole Miss has had one of their best stretches under Lane Kiffin that they've had in their program's history. That +28 number has a lot to do with it. Tennessee has had their most successful 4-year stretch since the late 90s, when they were, which is really the golden age of that program. They were at +26, and Alabama is bleeping Alabama, and they were +21 in that category. So that shows you the separation, that despite being able to force a lot of turnovers, which is great, the one thing this program needs to be able to hone in on, take advantage of a run the same way those 3 schools have, is you got to be able to take care of the ball better.
So, related it to money in the last hour, we're doing very well. The revenue's coming in. However, we're spending too much money. There's a leak somewhere, right?
Yep.
So, doesn't matter if you make $10 million if you spend 9.9999, right?
Yep.
Doesn't matter how many times you take away the ball if you give away the ball same amount of times. And that seems to be the issue. We had our guy, SEC stat cat Clark Brooks, on here. He was adamant, very adamant with the statistic of saying that, hey, South Carolina leads the SEC for 4 seasons in a row at going backwards. We're very good at going backwards.
Not what you want to be leading the SEC in.
Right, in negative plays. So anytime you hear a coach, not just Shane, we appreciate you, Shane, but we're going to do this to everybody. You hear a coach pull out a statistic, you always want to try and look at the other side. So yes, we do have that number as far as takeaways are concerned. That's awesome. But what is the other side of giveaways? We're giving the ball away too much. And as we stated before, ball security is not sexy. You're not getting recruiting profiles, highlight huddle clips about, oh man, look how he secures the ball. Did you notice that he didn't fumble on all of these plays? Nobody cares about that. But that is where, especially if the team wants to go to the next level, Lenore specifically, that is an aspect of his game and the team's overall game that they're going to have to improve.
And nobody, when people talk about Tiki Barber, they talk about his Hall of Fame career, the 1,000-yard rushing seasons. No one likes to talk about how he had that sucker high and tight, the 5 points of pressure.
Yeah.
That man did not fumble the football, because if you watched him run that football, he was carrying that thing around like he just stole gold from Fort Knox. He was not going to lose any of it.
Which leads to one of my other favorite expressions, stop carrying the ball like a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Everybody says, he's carrying it like a loaf of bread. And it's like, how do you, I never knew where that actually came from. Why is he carrying it like a loaf of bread? So I need to do some etymology on that.
It. Yeah, so like if you're holding it as if to not ruin
it's like
the structure
he's carrying
of
it
your
loosely.
loaf of bread.
Yeah, you got to carry it not like a loaf of bread. But yes, ball security is something that Lenoris is going to have to improve this year if he wants to make the jump to superstar level that he is poised to make.
And if we're keeping it with the theme of money, if we're going to run an audit on the offense as to why there is money being lost, the fumbles are the big thing. Because, I mean, personally, watching Lenoris last year as he progressed as a passer, I never thought he was constantly putting the ball in harm's way. Like, there are some quarterbacks where their turnover issues are because they have zero risk aversion in their brains. Brett Favre, Jameis Winston. I mean, you can think of some of the more famous gunslingers of the past.
Fun guys.
They're fun because they're not afraid to throw that ball at any part of that field. But when it comes to Lenoris, it's the ball security and having the adequate protection to be able to, A, give him the amount of time, and B, be able to have an accurate mental clock as to when that pressure is going to get home. Even if you do have good protection, you got to be able to know that, hey, by like 4 Mississippi, you got to get out of there, right? Or you got to get rid of the ball somehow, some way, because when you lose the ball in the backfield and you get the fumble there, that's maybe worse than an interception sometimes, right? There might not be a greater arm punt artist than Jameis Winston, because a lot of those interceptions happen 40 yards down the field. You're essentially just punting the ball away at that point. But when you lose it in the backfield, you are almost guaranteed to give away advantageous field position to your opponent.
So it's phrased as they want to win the turnover battle, but it's actually they don't want to lose the turnover battle.
For this team specifically.
For this team specifically, right? They just don't. It's not that they want to win the turnover. They just don't want to lose the turnover battle. And what losing the turnover battle means, giving the ball away through fumbles. Again, you point to for two reasons. We look at the Citrus Bowl last year, which somehow has gained, somehow has become a huge game.
Incredible importance, more than I think we anticipated.
Nobody would have
going
anticipated
into that game.
And you look at it for individual, Jawan Howell, he fumbled the ball, was having a decent game to that point, fumbles, does not get back on the field after that. And also the fortunes of the team changes with his particular fumble. So individually, it changes how you perform. And then as a team, it changes your collective. So I'm with you. Interceptions, not necessarily worried about that with Lenoris. If it happens, whatever. But the fumbles are something that he's going to have to improve. And as a whole team, especially when you don't have as many explosive guys, you're not going to be able to give the ball away as frequently as we have done in the past.
Because I think win the turnover battle is something that's probably on a whiteboard or on a decal or on any type of practice facility or merch, or, shirt, anything like that, with every team in college football. And I fully acknowledge and I'm fully aware that everybody has an emphasis on turnovers. But let's use South Carolina, for example. They were +3 in turnover margin last year. Good, could be better, but their +3 is different than somebody else's +3, right? Not all turnover margins are created equally. Some are created because you were really good at taking care of the ball, but you didn't force any turnovers. So you have a limit on what that turnover margin number can be. Some like South Carolina, where you did force a lot of turnovers. They picked off 14 passes last year. They forced 19 fumbles. Sometimes when that turnover margin's low and you have an explosive defense, it's because you're not taking care of the ball. And in this specific instance here in South Carolina, it's because they just haven't taken care of the ball well enough to be able to go to that next level. It cost you some games. It cost you the Alabama game. And if you look back on the season, if you maybe have different fortunes and take care of the ball better against Alabama, you're in the college football playoff. It's one of those things that can take this team farther, and that's their motto for the season is going farther. Maybe the turnover battle and being better in that is what does it for them.
Makes sense. When we were playing, Lou Holtz used to have us, we go to Lawsuit City very often. Well, Lou Holtz used to have a destination called Fumble Island.
Oh, I've heard about Fumble Island.
And when you fumbled in practice, you had to go to Fumble Island, which was literally a sandbox that they would sometimes wet, sometimes they wouldn't, and the player would have to go and recover fumbles at Fumble Island for a sustained period of time. And so you would leave practice, go to Fumble Island. At one point, they even had like inflatable blow-ups, like palm trees over there, and you would have to go recover fumbles once you had a fumble at Fumble Island.
I bet that wasn't fun.
Yeah. Now that I say that out loud, probably not admissible today. Today's standards, probably
you might be able to get away with
probably
that.
On the line.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that.
Go to Fumble Island.
Fumble Island, yeah. Let's Lawsuit City, bad for the NCAA. Fumble Island, bad for the Gamecocks. Brett McMurphy might expect them making a lot of trips to Fumble Island. That might be why he didn't rank them. He hears your complaints and he addresses them. We'll hear from him next.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network.
The Game Summer Golf Classic is Friday, August 22nd at Charwood Golf Club. Tee time is 9 a.m. Registration starts at 7:30. Mimosa bar provided by Saki's Wine and Spirits. Onion sausage for breakfast and Firehouse subs for lunch. And oh yeah, we have prizes. And the golf gun is back again. $400 a team. Call 803-755-2000 and press number 2 to sign up. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Press here for our friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield? No problem. They'll come out to your location and they will replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. That's right. They'll come out to wherever you are, school, home, work. It does not matter. Absolute Glass will come out and take care of the job for you. Now, if you're at home, if you're looking to increase the value of your home, you can do that with new windows or mirrors, and Absolute Glass will take care of that for you too. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. Say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Better than average grass cutters deserve better than average lawnmowers. The all-new Gravely Pro Stance Ultra is built to be outstanding in every way. With the best-in-class 35 horsepower Kawasaki motor, beefed up Parker transaxles, and 17 gallons of fuel capacity to keep you cutting longer, stronger, and smoother. This is Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Located at 4012 West Beltline Boulevard, or always online at catospowerequipment.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text GUYS44 to 323232. GUYS44 to 323232. 1201 Main Street, Columbia.
It's time for a new school year. Get half off tuition at Heritage Christian Academy in Lexington, the area's longest running private school, providing students with a Christian education and biblical worldview. Visit 1075thegame.com now to get half off tuition at Heritage Christian Academy.
Hendrick.
Love Chevrolet and Love GMC are now Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC, part of Hendrick Automotive Group. Buy now and make no payments for 4 months at the all-new Hendrick Chevrolet and Hendrick GMC in Columbia. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's back-to-school BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Just use promo code BOGO, B-O-G-O, when scheduling online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit CumulusDigital.com to start outperforming today.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Columbia Highway near Jake Knott's Bridge, still working that earlier tie-up. Also in progress, Decker Boulevard near Two Notch Road. And South Beltline Boulevard at Bluff Road, we have a report of an accident. That forecast, still kind of damp, so to speak. We're looking for a high today of 79, a couple showers possible. 82 tomorrow, 85 on Saturday. Again, just chances for some showers for the next few days. And by the time we get to Sunday, it could turn into scattered storms and temperatures continue on the increase. But right now, showing 69 and some clouds on 107.5 The Game.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
The AP poll's coming out soon. I believe it's next week. And there's one voter who's not believing in the South Carolina Gamecocks to be one of the 25 best teams. He tweeted out his poll, or his ballot, for the AP poll. And fans around here, not fans of his poll. Well, he was on, I believe it was the Andy Ari show on 3 yesterday, and he addressed an email from a Gamecock fan complaining about Carolina not being in his top 25. Well, this is Brett McMurphy reading said email.
I got an email. Actually got an email from Gabriel. I won't put out his last name because I don't want to do that to him. But Gabriel sent me an email. Yeah, big fan of your work is the title, and then he says that title is a lie. Your list was garbage. What's your vendetta against South Carolina? Mad because they beat your favorite team or something? Maybe it's time to retire, old timer. You're clearly becoming senile. Best, a disrespected South Carolina fan. So there you go, Gabriel.
Yep, there is a little animosity, and I do find it funny. He hit him with the old switcheroo, the email subject being, "Love your work, psych." He didn't love his work. He didn't at all.
Notice he put Gabriel. He didn't say the last name. Was that Gabriel Brownlow Dindy?
We can't.
We don't know.
Technically rule it out. I don't think it is.
you don't think Gabriel's locked into Brett McMurphy right now?
You never know.
I think he might be a little hot and tired.
Yeah, he might be. I'd be really impressed if he was able to do that, especially if you put the government name on there. Then
you know this is from me. Well, the email did put the last name on there, which is pretty wild. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Brett expected this type of pushback?
I think Brett's probably received worse.
I'm sure. Well, there
was a lot of heat in that message, but buddy, I grew up in East Tennessee, and those are the most unhinged human beings on planet Earth, right? Like, there are things that I would not call my worst enemy that I have seen on those message boards that I've had people read to me. I trust me, I have seen even what's on Gamecock message boards about, people that work here.
About yourself.
And that's about myself. Yeah. And that's mild compared to how I've seen people talk about Chris Fowler on those, and not just on those message boards, but like in my day-to-day life, right? I can guarantee you that was mild. As much as Gabriel brought some heat there and he hit him with the old trick play, we could amp it up a bit. Mm-hmm. You probably shouldn't.
No, yeah, we don't.
Be respectful.
Yeah.
But there is worse.
So here's my question, and that's the only clip that I heard. Did he respond, like not respond to Gabriel, but just respond to the omission? Did he say it was an omission? Did he say I said what I said?
Yeah.
He
stood on it, but he said this is irrelevant because last year 13 of the teams that were in the preseason AP Top 25 did not make an appearance in the postseason Top 25. He said you can be one of those that make it in. There's a good chance you make it in because he said, you have a lot of summarizing here, paraphrasing. He said there's a lot of opportunities to get yourself back into, a top 25 status. And do you want me to put you in the top 25 and you be one of those 12 teams that is not in it by the end of the year? I think you'd rather it be the other way around, which I find to be pretty logical.
Yeah, but I want to be in. Yes, that is logical. I hear you. I understand everything that you just said, but why didn't you put me in? Why'd you put them in?
Yeah, put me in and then give me the opportunity to rise up in the ranks, but at least put me in the door.
Yeah, let me get in first. Don't tell me all that. Don't give me I don't want to hear that's loser language. Put me in, and then you tell me why I'm not in.
Now, the real question here, as my man Jared Parker from Watch Fox joins us in studio. Jared, you're sending an email to an AP poll voter that you are not very polite. Let's say they excluded your beloved Florida International Panthers, and you're not having it. Are you putting your real name in the email, or are you making a burner email account?
Burner, for sure. There's no way you can put the real name, especially if it was a Gabriel Brownlow.
Especially if you're a player on the team, yes.
That'd be hilarious.
You got to change it up.
Yeah, you can't give yourself away. So, Gabriel, if that is your real name, he's been outed.
It's a tough spot to go to because, you might have to go through and make a burner email because your email address, my email address is my name. So
you don't already have one?
You're right. How am I even a sports fan? Yeah, you're right. That's a solid point. I do have, does a Hotmail account? Does that count as like just use one of your old ones?
If it's still active, if you have like an AOL account.
Yeah.
Maybe you use one of your old accounts.
I actually still have one and that's basically where I just dump stuff. It's like, hey, for this code or for this discount, give us your email address. Sure, you can have that.
Give them the AOL,
I'll never see it.
Give them the old Hotmail one. Yeah. I get that. That's so you're not putting the government on there.
No, not at all.
I think that's pretty wise, but
you should have been Terry Ford.
Even a better strategy. It's like giving out numbers, like we mentioned earlier. Like if you're giving out a phone number to someone who you don't want to have the number, but you're trying to at least keep the interaction civil because you don't want to be like, hey, I don't want to give you my contact info. That can create a little bit of awkwardness. If you want a burner number to give somebody, it would be funny, like a burner email, if you refer to your name as someone you know. That way, when Brett McMurphy inevitably reads it on air on another show, you've really pulled the ultimate ruse, not just by tricking him into reading your email, but by tricking it into reading the email along with attributing it to someone that would not appreciate it being attributed to.
Here's a deep cut for all my Falcon Nation Rise Up folks. His name, Ron Mexico.
That's a fake name. You made that up.
The name Ron Mexico should mean something to us as Falcons fans. If you know what that means, type. Send us a note in real quick. Send us a text in if you know who Ron Mexico is. That's a deep cut for Falcon fans.
It is a deep cut. That does sound like a deep cut for a franchise that hasn't won a Super Bowl. You need extra lore.
Watch your mouth.
You need extra lore.
Watch your mouth.
See, this is one of the reasons why Preston picking the Falcons was great for me because now we have a rivalry here. Yes, my favorite team will win 4 games this year. I am fully aware, but I am excited for 2 of them to come against a team in Atlanta.
There you go.
Fully expecting it. My man Jared Parker in the studio with us right now. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Jared was at a joint practice yesterday. I almost called it a dual practice. A joint practice between the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns. The Browns may be the most interesting preseason storyline in the NFL. He was there. He saw it. He has the insight. We'll ask Jared about how that went yesterday when the early game continues.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. When Carolina head football coach Shane Beamer talks.
Just so blessed to be able to be a part of this rivalry.
You hear it here.
So much respect for Clemson. I mean, that was a great college football game.
Because it's always Gamecock season on The Game.
sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery is taking a major step forward in convenience by now accepting debit cards for lottery purchases. It's now easier than ever for players to play the lottery and support funding scholarships for higher education. At participating retailers, playing for fun is a win for education.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. The Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
At Atkins Law, we believe who you hire matters, but don't take our word for it. Hear it from our clients.
From the front desk to the paralegals answering my questions to the one I have in my back, I couldn't ask for a better team of professionals.
From my first phone call to meeting Joe in person, I knew I was going to be in good hands.
Holly has a great practice, and her various experiences brings tons of knowledge to each of her clients.
Remember, who you hire matters.
Call Atkins Law, 803-251-6406.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's back-to-school BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Just use promo code BOGO, B-O-G-O, when scheduling online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. And now, traffic sponsored by Wetzel's Automotive on the Game Network.
Still a little bit of a slowdown there. Columbia Highway near Jake Knott's Bridge. Decker Boulevard near Two Notch Road, working on getting that earlier slowdown cleaned up. And South Beltline Boulevard at Bluff Road. Yeah, we could see just a little bit of rain today, but it is not going to be a washout. 79, that's about where we will top out today. 82 tomorrow, 85 on Saturday. A few showers as we head into the weekend. Again, looking at in that like 30% chance range. And then as we get to Sunday, chances for scattered storms are on the increase, and we start getting more into the mid-80s. Should be to 90 by Wednesday, so it will return. Enjoy the 69 currently on 107.5 The Game.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
I regret to inform all of you, I've just been introduced to the lore of Ron Mexico. Google it.
We had to save it for the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, I had to. Oh, man. Great alias.
Rise up.
Great alias. Yep. You know what? You have a fan in me. There you go. That's pretty funny. And I learned on our Firehouse Subs text line, too, that we do have some people still use AOL.
Okay. All right. Shout out to you, loyal.
There are dozens of us. Dozens of AOL users.
Shout out.
Oh, we got a special guest in the studio. Yes.
I'm kind of almost thinking that when they go and look at your Twitter page to see what you're talking about as far as something that's kind of antiquated as a commercial that might
that fits the mold.
Yeah, it fits the mold for
it's in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I just to give people an idea, there was an ad that ran on ESPN this morning that Preston and I saw. We kind of looked at each other and like, they still run those? Yeah. Like those are still a thing. Are there more of those ads that exist and circulating than there are AOL active members?
Oh, that's a good question.
I couldn't give you a good answer.
No. And I would have expected that ad at about 2 in the morning, not at like 5:45.
Yeah.
That's getting a little dicey.
Yeah. I mean, that's a close call.
Yeah.
People, not a ton of people are up, but people are up, and they do have TVs on, you know?
Yep.
So,
anyway,
I don't know.
What a spicy start to the morning.
I might have to run a poll on my own Twitter account. Like, what exists more, those types of ads or AOL members?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could still go to the AOL website today.
I didn't either. I mean, I didn't either. But I do know, because, we run like contests and stuff, that some people, when you have to get your email address, if you win a prize here, they will say at AOL.com. And I'll be like, good for you. Like, right. Holding strong. Like, I know nothing about you other than your name, your phone number, and your email address. But what I do know is you are loyal. Yep. There's a character trait that you possess that that I automatically know just by knowing what your email address is.
Yeah, it is. It is a little telling.
It is. It's very telling. Our man Jared Parker's in the studio with us right now. Jared had a fun day yesterday. And not because he was on his AOL account or on Instant Messenger, but he was at Panthers-Browns joint practice. And before we get into the Browns quarterback stuff and how everybody kind of looked, you kind of confirmed a prior of mine that there's a certain player for the Cleveland Browns that passes what I like to call the alien test. That if aliens came to Earth and you showed them American football for the first time ever and said, you know nothing about this game, who do you think the best player is?
Right. I get there. There's 200 players on the field. I'm scanning, looking for the former Gamecocks, looking for all the stars. And then all of a sudden, this big man just walks, every muscle cut from a different cloth, just gracing the field. And I'm like, oh, that's Myles Garrett. I don't even need to see his face, see his number. That dude is just built different. It's amazing.
It's weird to see in person.
It's hard to marvel at. Wow, I'm a man, but that's also a man.
We are the same species.
How'd that happen? Athletes. And again, I always like to point out that this is amongst the the cream of the crop, the top of the top, the alphas or whatever you want to call it. It's like, oh no, that's the guy.
Yeah, the way he moves. I mean, he was doing drills, just his speed, explosiveness. He looks different from everyone else. Just a physical gift.
Yeah, a marvel. Again, I would hate to see that man swinging a helmet at me. And we said off air that I think I'd rather take my chances with Jason Voorhees than Myles Garrett swinging a helmet at me.
Yeah,
that might be a better risk assessment on my end. But when it came to the practice too, Obviously, the Browns are interesting because of that quarterback situation. Fascinating thing going on there. I don't know if there's any quarterback room in the NFL that, A, has 5 guys that could play at any given time, or any franchise that you could say, hey, over under on 2.5 different starters in this season. You have to really think about it, right? But when you watched everything that went down at that joint practice yesterday, what are some of the things that stood out to you?
Well, first, I got to give a shout out to my former high school quarterback, Tyler Huntley, with the Browns.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
I have a Tyler Huntley connection to the show now.
If there's any part of me that's rooting for something to happen, I would never mind seeing, my old high school quarterback take the gridiron. But I will say, Shador, obviously that's the big storyline here. I didn't see anything that wowed me, but he looked ready. He looked calm and composed. I'd say in the 7-on-7s, we weren't allowed to film. I would have loved to, actually have some video evidence of this. But he seemed very comfortable behind center. He was making his reads, completing passes. Obviously, there was, it wasn't clean, but that was on both ends. Even Bryce Young with the Panthers, their offense wasn't completely clean either. So I give him some grace considering the fact, we're about to be in week 1 preseason. The kid's never played an NFL game. It's not going to look beautiful.
Yeah, I think we can acknowledge that it's not going to look beautiful, but I think that's the fun part of joint practices too, is you're seeing both teams in real time figuring it out. And I think you kind of learn more about what the teams look like. Even if it is this early in the process, you still have a good feel of what they look like against other people, right? I can watch practice all day, and if the offense is dominating the defense, it can be like, oh, damn, this offense is really good. But then they get out on the field, and the defense is hemorrhaging points, and the offense is only scoring like 16 points a game. And then you're looking at your season a little differently, right? You hyped up one because the other was that bad. Or if the offense just can't score, that offense can still go out there on Saturdays or Sundays, put up 40 in a game, but that defense is the 2000 Ravens where no one scores on them. So that's where I like being able to gauge it a little bit better. And you mentioned looking for the former South Carolina Gamecock players. Rico Dowdle is had an awesome season with the Cowboys last year. This is really a pivotal point in his career where he can go to a place like Carolina and really make his name by getting a ton of carries for a team that is in a very winnable division.
Yeah, and I find it interesting the situation he joins because obviously last year he rushed for 1,000 yards and Chuba Hubbard rushed for 1,000 yards. And I made the connection on my Twitter. The last pair of running backs to do that was the Panthers in 2009 with Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. So, I mean, I'm not saying it'll happen, but it's very possible. Rico he's very confident in the line they have in front of them. Whether that'll hold up, obviously, time will tell. But Chuba had a great season. I don't see why they both can't. And it seemed like, at least in practice, what we saw yesterday, they're really getting Rico involved in the pass game as well. I know last year he caught 3 touchdowns and was a solid member of the Cowboys passing game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're really using him to run some routes, even possibly maybe go out wide.
Yeah, I think Rico Dowdle's story is just fascinating to us being here for this long time because he was serviceable here. Some potential, had some injuries, but he was serviceable, and now he's turned into this NFL vet, 1,000-yard rusher, and I'm not sure anybody here who was watching him while he was at South Carolina. Of course, that was during the Muschamp times, dark times. But I'm not sure anybody would have predicted that for his future, so it's really interesting. I wanted to ask you, what was the temperament of the joint practice? Was this one of these real contentious ones, or were they working together? What was the sort of spirit that was out there?
I was really impressed because there were a couple moments where there were flare-ups, especially on the special teams drills. You got the gunner out, and you might have a block that went a second too long, but there was nothing after the whistle. There was talking. People got in each other's faces, but there was no physical contact after the whistle. So I was very impressed because it was a pretty physical practice. Like when they were doing the one-on-one line drills, I mean, those guys, you had some face mask lockups. Like they were getting physical, people on the floor, and their teammates behind them. If someone won the drill, they let the other team know. So despite all the energy and emotion that was there, I was very impressed with how they were able to keep it to football.
Yeah.
Especially seeing what happened with the Patriots.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's every year. There's one fight every single year in a joint practice. And always wanted to get to cover one where it happens because, I mean, like, it's hot out there.
It would have been a cooler story.
It would have been a really cool story. And, you know, who knows? Maybe a hot mic pick something up that's really funny. I don't know. NFL Films has usually caught something in those joint practices where people start fighting, and it gets pretty funny. Those are winning situations. For us, at least, because we're in the, you know, entertainment business here. But we'll give our winners for the show. Jared's going to stick around and give them with us as we, winner, not me, speaking, as we round out hour number 3.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. The Game Network keeps growing. Details soon from The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with Sports Minute, sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Jalen Hurts. The 27-year-old Super Bowl 59 MVP is one victory shy of becoming the 5th quarterback to win 50 games with the Eagles. He currently boasts the highest win percentage among Philly quarterbacks with significant playing time. Have a great day, Jalen. I'm Boomer Esiason.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
DQ presents The Sound of Happy. Hear that? That's the DQ chicken strip basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ's signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ chicken strip basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Ugh. Kitchen ants? Runaway roaches? A spider? A spider? A spider! Relax. Just use Zevo. Zevo insect killer sprays use a powerful blend of mint and rosemary to eliminate those pests and up to 20 other bug types. Plus, Zevo is safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Just spray the bugs and wipe them away. Zevo. People friendly, bug deadly.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can easily find the right home insurance for you, even if it's not with Progressive. But if you don't choose us, then sure, okay, it's not going to work out. We're not going to cry about it or stay awake wondering what our future together would have looked like. We can't get emotionally invested, even if it sounds like we are. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer allows you to easily compare home insurance rates and coverages in one place, even if it's not with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. I love you. I shouldn't have said that.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Final segment of today's show, and it's time to give out winners. And as we do it collectively here as a program, like to lead us off with the Irmo Little League team because the fellas in Irmo, give it up. The fellas in Irmo punched their ticket to Williamsport yesterday by not just beating a really good team in Florida, they beat the defending champions of the Little League World Series out of Florida, which makes me feel really good about their chances of performing well in Williamsport. So congrats to the Irmo Little League baseball team.
For those that need an update, Chinese Taipei is in the Little League World Series. They have won 17 of them, so we'll see if they have to get it to that bracket. If they make it to the international portion, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, and I did see that the last back-to-back champions was that team, 2012, 2013, but there haven't been any back-to-back winners since.
Wow.
Interesting.
Elijah, I had a question for you. I don't know if your listeners know this, but we're on a Monday adult softball team, slow pitch.
Right. Infamously tore my hamstring.
Elijah is our ace. He tore his hamstring, but he came in last game, closer, 3 up, 3 down, so he looks like he's back in prime condition. I want, when the Irmo baseball team gets back, I want to see if we could set up a slow pitch game. I want to see what's the line. How much do they beat us by? Because we've never hit the ball.
Oh no, we are. We're still working the kinks out in the field. There's a couple of things when it comes to fielding the ball that that we might struggle with, and we start off slow. We get murdered in first innings.
We do.
First innings not a winner for us. I think they beat us by 20.
Dang,
they might beat us by 20.
They could mercy rule us.
They could mercy rule. Yeah. And we are adults, allegedly.
Run the rule.
That would actually be super, super fun. And I think I smell something coming here. I think you guys should get that together.
I want to do it.
This would be great content. I think you have sparked an incredible idea here.
Good idea.
Especially if I get hurt in that game too. Again, yeah. Then it would be even funniher. But
it might hurt our pride a little.
As if this season hasn't hurt our pride enough. Yeah. Our record, not good. But we did make the playoffs.
We did.
By virtue of just not being a lot of teams in it. So, but hey, we're in. It's a playoff appearance that goes on the resume. That
all
will
your
go
goals
on.
are still in front of you.
All of the goals are in front of us, and that will go on recleaguesoftballreference.com. as long as we live, you go to our team page, it will read playoff appearance.
I'm going to give my winner to Tiki Barber today.
Yes.
Did not expect that to be a name that we would hear today. It came out of nowhere, but we're talking about ball security. We're talking about not fumbling the ball, and it might gin up some nostalgia for some folks of a certain age to remember Tiki Barber holding that ball high and tight, running with it, not trying to fumble. It's I would venture to say iconic, because if you just was to have that silhouette, like a la NBA style or
Jerry West
is, you would be able to guess that was Tiki Barber, right?
The way I saw that ball, where it is tucked in, like this, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, where it's almost like he's punching his own face mask when he's running, I know damn well.
Tiki Barber and ball security, winners.
Oh, fantastic. Jared Parker, who's your winner for today's show?
I'll give it to Tetsuo McMillan since I was at Panthers practice yesterday. I mean, his ability to catch balls through contact, he looked impressive yesterday. Bryce dropped a couple of dimes that, some of it he had trouble with early on, but he was able to make some nice catches. I know the Panthers released the tweet of one of the catches he made where one of the Browns defenders is on the floor and, of course, was not allowed to record, but the catch looks as impressive as it really was in real life. So I am really excited to see him on Friday and this season forthcoming.
See, that was one of those things too. I felt like it's like a high, maybe a risk worth taking, because the defense was just atrocious last year, last in the league in points surrendered per game. So I thought maybe with all the defensive talent, maybe you go defense. But if there is that wide receiver that you think can take your offense to the next level, then maybe it's worth taking that risk. But that was the thing about him at Arizona, man. It's one of those things. I almost don't care if you're getting a lot of separation on your routes. If you are an elite contested catch kind of guy, and if anybody watched Tet McMillan play at Arizona, if that ball was in the same zip code as him, he had a chance at catching it.
And I'm going to real quick slip in a winner here for Jared for announcing Tet's name, pronouncing it correctly on the first try. One more time.
Tetsuo McMillan.
Tetsuo, yeah.
Look, when he got drafted, I watched like 18 different videos of how to say it so that I would not say it wrong on TV.
It's a tough one. All right, Tet.
Yeah, Jared, winner for doing the homework, for making sure he has not mispronounced names. We had to at the the media availability last week. I found a couple players in the roster where it's like, okay, harder name to pronounce. I'll have you say it, record it, and we'll air it here. And we had a whole segment where we were committed to learning the correct pronunciation of everybody's name. And I will never call Isaiah Augustave ever again.
Still has to go through the check in my mind, but it's Augustave.
Isaiah Augustave. So pronunciations, winners. Tet McMillan, winner. One winner for me today, too. Just the concept of ball security, keeping it with Tiki Barber there. Another one, okay, that ball security, because obviously the South Carolina defense has forced a ton of turnovers in the last 4 years, but only a turnover margin of +4. I also want to give one more winner to anybody that still has an AOL account, because you are loyal, you are loving, you are a great friend, and you will not give up on anybody or anything. So if you still have an AOL account out there, or a NetZero account, or Hotmail, Instant Messenger, you are loyal, you are a winner of this show. Congratulations.
NetZero.
Oh, buddy, yeah, NetZero. Well,
this is before my time.
I think it's before our time, brother. And our time on this show is up. Tyler Head, Jack Veltri, the extra point. That's next here in the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Now, people that use AOL, loyal customers, right? They know loyalty because you've been using that for a while and no one really uses it anymore. But people still use Midstate Roofing, and for 30 years, people have been using Midstate Roofing to be able to help with the needs of their building. Look, the roof is like the offensive line of your building, right? It protects your assets, it keeps everything safe. And for a business too, it keeps your operation running because your building is running. So no better way to protect that investment than Midstate Roofing. Give them a call, 803-356-1919. You can speak to an on-call technician after hours, or if you call during hours, you can hit up a Midstate Roofing member during those hours. Hit him up online as well, midstateroofing.com. Again, that number, 803-356-1919. Get those bonded systems with a protective guarantee to keep your operation dry and running. And remember, if you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
This report is sponsored by Carolina Conditions Home Services. Carolina Conditions Home Services specializes in generators, drains, and electric car chargers, making them your one-stop shop for all your comfort needs. Visit their website at carolinaconditions.com or call 803-233-7172 for expert service you can count on.
Sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text GUYS44 to 323232. GUYS44 to 323232. 1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Breathe easier with Zero-Res Air Duct Cleaning. Trust Zero-Res to get your ducts insanely clean. Mention 107.5 The Game. Get $50 off your next cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Looking for a tow that won't drive you insane? Schroeder's Towing has got your back and then some. With almost 1,500 Google reviews and a near 5-star rating, Schroeder's Towing is practically the most respected hookers in town. Whether you're stuck on the side of the road or just need a lift, our reliable service is always